With that little transition noise, we've had an interesting time so far. As we were waiting for poor Sal to try to get his camera to work, instead we're going to have sorry. Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, thank you for leading into that. 15 seconds too late, but sometimes it'd be like that. So I'm excited to dive into it again. We're going to go once more into the Amber Temple, and hopefully this group can finish things up this week. We shall see how that's gonna go. During that, I just wanted to, or really quick before we get into the actual session, I wanted to throw out first, thank you guys all for switching over from PayPal to Stripe. It's been, kind of a hassle, but you guys have been amazing. I've been getting wonderful messages too from some of you about how much the community means to you, and I just wanted to say that community wouldn't be possible without you guys. You are the community, and you're the reason it's amazing. So thank you guys for that. Of course, the obligatory shilling of if you guys want to be in a campaign like this one, head on down to polyhedra.io, where you guys can fill out a form and have some fun with that. And of course, there's a form you can fill out, which is going to be over in the doobly-doo. And if you're interested in joining the Discord, there's the link. That's pretty much it. We're going to do another giveaway this month. It's going to be fizz bands. It is going to involve anyone who cheered, followed, and subscribed. Subscribes are going to be worth the most. Cheers are going to be 1 ticket per 100 cheers worth, and follows are going to be 1 as well, I think. But I might have got that backwards now because it's been a long day. One other thing that I want to throw out for the community is we're going to be doing a Starfinder one-shot. This is going to be likely on the 21st or the 28th of this month. So if you guys want to be in on that, there will be a message in the Discord. If you guys want to emoji react to that, you'll be able to get in. And that's pretty much it from me. Do you guys have anything that you want to shout out before Chris comes back from the thing? Go ahead.
2 things. One, aren't we taking next week off for you?
Thank you for reminding me. We're moving to a new place. I'm going to get a much bigger room. It's going to be nice. I'm excited about it. It's going to be badass. And that's going to involve a lot of lifting, which is going to be mostly done by yours truly. So with that, we're going to be off next week. So expect that. And actually, that reminds me too, as I was getting ready to fill in the information for this is the 27th episode we're doing. So technically, I missed it last week. We've been streaming for over half a year now. That's kind of cool. It's kind of a landmark that just kind of like stood out to me. I was like, dang, we've been on for a hot minute now.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, for you it's been the fastest half year.
I got a quick message. For those of you that are moving out there, if you ask your friends for help, you will find out who your friends are.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
It's true. I asked Clancy to come help me move, and she's like, no, I can't do that because I'm all the way on the other end of the country. Ugh.
Yeah, oh my god, can't believe it up.
She actually moved just because she knew you were moving. Didn't want to.
Yeah, she's like, I'm so sick of you moving and having to move you. It's true.
Yeah.
Have you seen that
Once
commercial?
was enough.
Have you seen that commercial where they're all standing around the barbecue and the guy's like, so, we're moving. And he asks the guy what he's doing. He says, oh, I'm busy. I haven't told you the weekend yet. Oh, I know I'm busy.
The only other D&D thing I was going to say is for anybody that has any unearthed arcana, you better make sure, or you want to use any unearthed arcana, you better make that character before, I think it's next week, because officially either next week or the following week, unearthed arcana will no longer be supported on D&D Beyond.
Really? Wow.
If you have one that's on a character sheet, it will become archived, so you can keep it, but you cannot re-add it. And so what you have to do afterwards is you would have to have a D&D Beyond plus membership so that you could use the homebrew content, and you would have to create it within homebrew to be able to do it, because UA content for one reason or another is no longer going to be supported.
They're tired of spoilers.
Yep, and I've already decided if I ever get another character death, they better hope I'm not playing in his games, because I'm coming back as John Ralphio from Parks and Recreation.
Oh my god.
What does that mean?
I'm just gonna be the most annoying motherfucker there ever was.
So what's different?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what
Here's the fruit, and then that was just grabbed low hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Well,
was.
I mean, that
Yeah,
was like teed up.
Here,
That was like-
we need to do a high five. I gotta be on my side of the screen here, and whoosh.
So
That was easy.
Also, fun fact: when I walked out of there, Drake, Crystal goes, "Y'all talking about Domino?"
Oh my god.
This
Oh,
is a
straight,
family
we're
story
talking about
now.
Domino's
Jeremy should
pizza.
purposely not moving.
Christ. Anyways, I threw in a link there if you guys want to watch that. Nerd Immersion did a little video on the UA stuff as well. I wonder why they're doing it. I could see one of the reasons potentially being just that they don't want to have those situations like we did with Finn for the longest time, which is there's so much UA kind of floating about and it's so confusing and all over the place. And then they have to delete it anyway. The UA is going to cycle out either for the official published version, or if it's not published, then it just gets deleted, right? So in any case,
The
thanks for
big
the call out
reason-
though.
Yeah, the rumored reason that I read on the forums was because they said that they want people are using it to kind of know what the next source content is going to be. Because, as an example, if it's a bunch of dragon stuff, then they know a dragon source book is coming at some point. And so what they're going to be doing from now on, and this is the rumor because they're already doing this, just not with UA, is that there will be a new playtest arena that you will be able to apply for, which is like a playtest version of D&D Beyond that would have unreleased content, but you would have to sign a
NDA.
like T's and C's stating you are not allowed to talk about
NDA.
it, you can't post it online, you can't do anything, and so and it's going to be a very, very, very restricted program. And I think the main reason is because they're trying to change, because they've also changed their launch policies with Amazon, printing press, a bunch of those people who
Yeah,
are
Amazon
typically
has
the
been
ones.
leaking so much stuff. Jesus, that's been
Yeah,
terrible.
so they're cracking down on a lot of that, and I think the main reason is because they feel like none of the content ever has a chance to be a surprise because people pretty much know what it is before it comes out.
But I always thought they did that on purpose. It's kind of like
I did too. I always thought that those
marketing,
leaks
you know?
were like hype, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, they have a whole Arcana thing on their website where you see all the Unearthed Arcana.
Yeah.
Not even
Like,
D&D
are they
Beyond.
stopping Unearthed Arcana? Sorry, he's making a really good point today. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sorry.
I think they're still gonna have it come out, but they're not gonna have it come out like right now. Unearthed Arcana comes out as soon as it's launched. I think what's gonna end up happening, what I was reading on Reddit today was that it sounds like we're gonna be getting the version that's very close. Like when they actually release the Unearthed Arcana, it'll be like a month before the actual source. It'll be more or less what's going to be in the source book or what's going to be in the adventure or going to be in the new book, so that you won't have it 6 months, 7 months before, because they're going to be play testing it through their other system.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing. The playtesting has been kind of frustrating for me as a DM, I will call out, just because people get super
Changing
excited
shit
about
every
ideas.
week. Like,
It's just like, there's something cool. For example, Clancy was playing which one was the Oath of Glory or whatever it was beforehand.
Oath of Glory.
And then
totally
it
darked it.
it turned into complete crap. Like, it was a really cool subclass, and then it was just like, when it came out.
Take, we
There
didn't
was...
get a long rest last week either.
Well, we can't.
Chris was very much into this conversation. With that in mind,
We get long rest? Where? I need it.
No, I was just asking.
I know, Chris. I'm just fucking around.
alrighty. Well, with that, no, yeah, the UA is a big change. We'll see how it goes over. I'm sure that 5 months from now we're not going to remember it much anymore. We'll probably like, yeah, back in my day, but that's about it. Back in my day, Domino, and then we'll make a joke about that one. That one was just for Jeremy.
Rounding
No, gotta go around the circle.
My next character will be
alrighty.
a female character named Domino.
Oh boy.
Yep. Exactly. That's what you should play. As we delve back in, our fearless heroes. No, Clancy, no, stop it. Get your mind out of the goddamn gutter. Jesus Christ.
Why are you telling me?
Because I
When
saw your
there's no-
face and then my mind went there. Ew. Okay. As we
My face. No. Okay, go.
the expression on your face, Jesus Christ. Anyways, as we resume the campaign, hopefully at some point tonight, we shall get there. The crew has been at the Ember Temple, a temple that was carved into the side of the mountain with massive amber statues sitting within crevasses at the sides flanking the massive entryway. You notice that the place certainly has been somewhat derelict. There were barbarians that you guys murdered that, apparently had set up camp there. There were some flame skulls that you guys dispatched that apparently also resided within that place. There was a lot of information that you guys found out from magical books all the way to a smaller iteration of Castle Ravenloft. As you guys went through, you had a conversation with a faceless god that apparently was actually just a fox man thing that had some powerful magic to throw at you guys' faces. As right off the bat, there was chain lightning, just to say hello. Then later on, you guys got a fireball and some Nothics that were thrown your way. And ultimately, after taking a little bit of a short rest with your new compatriot, a dusk elf like Dagmar, explained some of the history that brought him here, and that he would like to be an ally of yours, for he has his own reasons to also seek power from the Amber Temple. Rolak has a co-pilot, so lest we forget about that. And most recently, you guys had descended down in the best Mission Impossible interpretation in a D&D game ever done. You had rolled down Rolak into a destroyed warehouse storage room of some sort, and that's when shit hit the fan. And of course, the rest of the crew decided to quickly descend using Rolak as a bouncy pad in order to get down there effectively, and you guys were able to fight off Mr. Foxman once more as he is once again disappeared. You guys carved into the back of the statue and saw that is probably where he lived, so of course you guys set the entire place on fire. Seems reasonable. As you guys pushed on, it does. As you guys pushed on, you found another amber-covered double set of doors that apparently led to another warehouse. However, this one had not been messed with like the one that you had been lowered into. And as you went into this eastern warehouse, as you opened the door, suddenly there was a towering amber golem that immediately rushed at you guys. As Sal and Ral and this golem played tag with slow spells, because that's how it worked, you guys were able to overcome the thing and were picking it back up right as the golem is now destroyed, and Hoyt lies there dying. So as you go back in, I'm just kidding, Hoyt is automatically stabilized as per my rules. But what would you guys like to do now?
Rel looks down at the dwarf and he says, "Guys, I don't think he's gonna make it. We should just put him out quickly and swift."
Because I have so much knowledge of this, I agree.
I mean, it looks like his breathing is pretty stable, but
Just a thought. How about everybody comes in the room and we close the doors before something else comes and tries to kill us?
I mean, like that fox.
Yeah, exactly like the fox.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll help me drag Hoyt in there. He seems a bit heavy.
Hey.
All right, I'll help drag him.
Thank
Don't
you
touch
for
it.
sticking up for me.
I
Thank
love
you.
that she just defended her.
I know, I like that Sal's girl was behind that.
Don't touch the treasure. Nobody touch the treasure.
Ooh, treasure, which I'm very familiar with.
All right, as you guys
I learned
close-
my lesson. I'm not gonna touch again.
as you close the door behind yourselves, you look about, and once again, I'll read the description of the room so you guys can kind of see that a little bit. And there are piles and piles of treasure heaped against the west and east walls of the stone room. You see that the treasures themselves, these 6 almost kind of like, well, loose but still neat in the way that they're set up here, piles, are composed of thousands and thousands and thousands of coins. Copper coins, silver coins, gold coins, silver pieces. There are gems and gems in here. You see what looks like rusted pieces of plate armor, rusted shields looking relatively worthless. You see a child-sized sarcophagus made of black wood inlaid with gold. It certainly seems to be a worthwhile artifact. This is on pile 1.
We're on pile 1.
Pile 2, again, thousands of coins. There are 5 rusted rings of suits of ring mail and breastplates, all completely worthless now. However, there is a silvered rapier with a pink glass hilt at the bottom, rusted greatswords, and what appears to be a gilded chariot. Now,
Okay. Before you read all 6, because we will not remember, and then we will just ask you like, which pile was this again, and which pile was it, to save you that trouble.
Sure thing.
Let's. There's a shit ton of ooglies that we want to touch, that will probably kill us. Let's put a pin in that for just 1 second, because I don't want David to do this beautiful narration on 6 piles, and then we're like, wait a minute, what was in pile 1 again? And then we have to, play that game for 30 minutes.
I mean, I could write it down, but yeah, I agree.
Okay, does anybody have any ability to get Hoyt back among the living? Does anyone have any heals left? Does anyone have any potions left?
I'm all tapped out.
Looks like I have none.
Don't we have a healing potion? Or did we use that?
We used it, I'm pretty sure.
I have one, but it's a superior healing potion.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. Do we want to use that here? Does anybody have like a level 1 spell they could use?
I'm so tapped out, it's not even
I
funny.
do, but I have one spell left. That's it.
Well, I mean, after an hour, he pops up with 1 HP, I'm pretty sure. Isn't that how it works?
The
No.
1d4.
Okay.
Oh, well.
Then I will. I'll
Wait,
use-
does anybody have a healer's kit?
That just stabilizes you, unless you have the
Oh,
other
yes.
feat.
I'm going to use my final spell slot, and I'm going to lean down, and I'm going to be like, I have healed you for probably the same that you have fucking damaged me today. This is my final spell slot. As I say with some salt. And I put my hand on him and fucking juice him with 5 hit points.
It feels a little salty as you wake back up, Hoyt. There's like a... Man, the sodium content of this cure wounds. Ooh.
I'm gonna walk away from the joke.
Gotta walk away! Alright.
As you walk away, Chris, you see that there's a large fissure. Seems to be somewhat naturally caused. A natural opening that are virtually side by side. The openings are both about 3 feet wide, 8 feet high, and 10 feet deep. You can barely make out past that. There seems to be a large storage room of some sort.
Okay. So it's normally my default reaction to start barking orders. I'm going to try to hold that back. What is everyone's thoughts? Let's just we've gone through a lot of stuff recently. Knack, what is your immediate thoughts?
Well, my immediate thought is to ritually cast Detect Magic and see what's what.
Do it. Love it. All right, Rel, what are your immediate thoughts?
We barricade the doors, try and get some rest, maybe.
Love it. Can you check out the doors and see if there's any way you can, even if you can't barricade it, you can make it to where we would have a decent alarm system if somebody tried to come in?
I can try.
Okay.
Can I roll an investigation check to see if there's any way to bar the doors or...
No, you think you could probably wedge like some of the rusted pieces in there. They're rusted, so they're not good for fighting. But on the flip side, you think that the actual handles themselves could probably be barricaded with some of the rusted swords that are within the
All right.
piles.
I'll start doing that then.
All right.
Maybe I missed something, but those 2 little passages to our north.
That's what he's saying you saw.
Yeah, I was reading that.
Oh,
too.
I thought you were talking about the main door. My bad. I misunderstood.
Yeah.
there.
Dagmar, what are your immediate thoughts?
Well, the front door is being secured. Do you want me to make sure that there's no threats that we're barring ourselves in with by checking out the fissure?
Yes,
Sure.
I would love it if you would be as stealthily as possible. Go check out the fissure.
I'll do my best.
was gonna wait in case wanted her to do something there.
If you want to make a stealth check, go for it. Do you put your sword away?
Yeah.
No, not you. Sorry.
Oh yeah. I'll
Yeah,
go ahead
I'm
and put
gonna
my
stealth
sword
that.
away.
Yeah, I'll stealth without the sword.
Man.
That's not a good roll.
Right, you kind of sneak up to the fissure as you start peering inside and listening. Go ahead and make me a perception check as well.
I will. Foundry just crashed on me, so give me a sec.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's not your fault.
Perfect timing.
The great plan! A mod that just overloads Foundry on the Goliath side whenever they trigger trap something.
Makes sense. Makes sense. It's like a real life trap, you know.
Mhm.
Gotta have some of that real life stress.
You've activated my trap card.
Welcome
my
to
God.
4D Virtual Tabletop.
We say trap music. Pum, pum, pum.
Oh,
my
too
God.
much trap. Okay.
They're just gonna keep repeating the word trap at this
Yeah,
point.
it's just Claptrap from
What was the
Borderlands.
word the other night? Actually, or whatever.
Oh, God.
Hypothetically.
Hypothetically, that's what it was. Sorry. Had to be.
Oh, man.
Perception, you said?
Yes, please.
27.
Wow, with a disadvantage.
With disadvantage.
Ooh, but that 8 a natural 20.
I know that nat 20.
Okay. You start kind of wedging yourself in there. And it's like one of those exploration games like what am I thinking? Tomb Raider. I almost said
Uncharted,
Tomb of
Tomb
Annihilation.
Raider,
Yeah, I was like, Tomb of Annihilation does not sound right. But
Tomb Raider?
it's
Please
like
don't
that
make it Tomb
loading
of
screen moment where you have to kind of like go through that once more. You look about and listen in, and there doesn't seem to be anything that you can hear that seems to be offensive, and you kind of start peering into the rest of the room. You're just kind of like poking out your head, you know? And as you look in, there's a golden marble staircase with black marble railings that hugs the northern wall as it spirals gently up to a 30-foot wide shaft. Lying in the middle of the room are 6 rotting wooden cases. The amber-covered walls are sculpted to look like tentacles that entwine around marble bas-reliefs of kings, queens, pharaohs, and sultans, attended by myriad of slaves. The west, south, and east walls contain alcoves, and standing in each one of these alcoves is a tall, rough block of amber. 2 wide cracks have opened up in the place that you're currently sitting in, and you see that there's rubble and pieces of amber spilled and shattered onto the floor.
Well, if this was the entrance to where we need to go, I mean, I don't know what else would be. Okay, I'll go back.
As you're about to turn away, Dagmar,
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
you
nothing happens.
sorry.
Right?
It's almost like an X-card mode, like nothing happens. As you turn
No,
away,
the DM
Dagmar,
would
you hear just the soft, disassociated whisper. Are you?
not gonna answer. I'm just gonna keep going.
Squeeze on through. Dagmar seemingly makes it back okay.
Okay.
Hey.
As I'm helping Hoyt up, what are your immediate thoughts?
That's probably where we need to go next, but there's also a spooky ghost whisper who asked who I was, but I rudely ignored them.
Fuck me.
It's not
This
nice
never
to ignore
stops.
people.
Hoyt, what do you want to do?
He coughs up some salt.
Cast Cure Wounds on myself.
I thought that
my
was
last
the roll
level
for how
one.
well that joke went over.
Sleep would be good. I don't know if I can make it through another one of those.
Okay. Percy, your immediate thoughts?
since I've been paying attention this entire time, I think it's just best for us to do anything we can to recover.
Okay.
Because I'm hurt.
Okay, so just to recap, we have a pathway with a spooky voice that talked to Dagmar to the north that has a stairwell going up and some rotting boxes. We have a... Rel, how good do you feel about that barricade job you did to the south?
I think it's fantastic. I don't think anything's getting through there.
I love it. I love it.
I can even try welding those pieces together with my fire.
Sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I did.
And it'll never open.
Whatever makes you happy, big boy. Knack, have you finished casting your ritual detect magic?
Habba-da-habba-da-ha.
Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Yeah, you give it a couple more minutes after that, and as the ritual goes off, let me double check. The body of the Amber Golem certainly gives off strong emanations of magic, transmutation, evocation, and other stuff, but it is quickly dying away, right? Other than that, you get some faint, odd senses of magic that emanate from these holy symbols that are from various gods of various worlds that are just scattered throughout one of the piles. But that's it.
Okay. What's your did anything pop?
That pile over there.
And there's a
8 points of
weasel.
it, has a lot of symbols of deities, and that's really the only thing giving up anything. So, yeah, the piles, I mean, it could be trapped with some other kind of magic, but there's nothing that I can see.
Dagmar, do you want to try to walk by and give each one of them a once-over to make sure that there's not going to be like a pearl of fireball that's going to go off when we try to look at it?
I can try. I didn't notice any traps with the table, but
Yeah.
Pearl of
Damn,
Please
fire.
don't write that down. Please don't write that down.
But I can certainly
Make me
do
a
my
perception
best.
check. Ooh. Ooh! Oh, she did it! Oh, she rolled a double
She's
natty
natty
20! Oh my
20s.
god, that's amazing.
Dang.
She sees everything in the
We
room.
need to go into break and let her go buy a lottery ticket.
She sees that voice that was whispering to her now.
Yes,
He's like, nah.
into his soul.
You don't see anything that is of note with the piles. You kind of do a thorough job poking inside of it, kind of like moving little portions of it without triggering the cascade, really. But what you do end up actually hearing with a 29 is creaking from the room, the upstairs area. There's some wood that kind of seems to be kind of like bowing as you look up onto the ceiling, and you do see that there's, well, it's just stone, but you can see where it kind of goes up. There seems to be more shelving of some sort, maybe books or something, like a library or something. And there are soft footsteps that you hear up above.
I'll point up above. Everything looks okay here, but up there, I think we got company.
Okay, great. I'm not gonna try to loot anything. I am simply at this pile right here that I'm standing next to.
I'm simply going to take everything.
I'm not trying to take
I thought
everything.
you were gonna say
The-
sorry.
No. this is what I'd like to do. First thing, because it's full of it. You have to do a giant read. Before that, it appears to be full of coins and odd knickknacks and
And he said
Stuff like
gems
that,
in
correct.
that one.
gems in that one, correct?
I don't know, but did you guys?
He didn't.
Did you just
he didn't
say
read this
Jim?
He said that. Well, I'm just repeating what
Gems.
my. Never mind. I shouldn't have repeated what he said. On
Sorry,
this
is that
one,
just a Bama
I just
accent
wanna
that I don't
pick
get?
up a
Am I too
coin.
German for this one?
Yeah.
A gem, like a
Gem,
ruby or a topaz.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Is
pick
it-
up
is
a
it
coin.
a
Diamond,
gem over
of a
there?
certain size.
A gym, yeah, it's like about a vaguely humanoid man, kind of like 5'10"ish. No, yeah, the first pile definitely had a bunch of gems in it.
Okay, then I'll walk up to that pile first. Okay.
Okay.
First thing I'd like to do is I'd like to pick up a coin. One of the many coins. Does it seem like a real coin?
It seems like a real coin. However, as you touch it,
Here
you
we go.
also hear a little voice, but this time you know it's from your co-pilot, just saying, "I thought you were not here to rob."
I'm not robbing anything. I'm trying to investigate this stuff. Did I put it in my pocket?
And there's just like, static, ghost static suddenly. What's up, Percy?
Is it because I missed the session? And just curious. That voice sounds awfully coincidental to the blood spear. Is that what happened?
No.
Is that his partner?
No.
Oh, okay, I was
It's
like,
another
damn,
ghost we found
what
in
I
another
missed?
room.
What's
We got so many
happening?
ghosts.
There's a lot of gifts.
We ain't
Plague
afraid of
of
no
ghosts,
ghosts.
sorry.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
Okay. So this seems like a legit just gold coin.
Yup.
The Strahd's
This
face
is-
on it.
This is copper, but yes, it is Strahd's face on it.
Okay.
But in fact,
So
as
it's
you kind of like,
copper.
as you go through, this first pile seems to be all copper pieces. As you go through, there's mintage from hundreds of places. You see different kinds of like profiles of different rulers and whatever.
Is there anything else? So I'm gonna toss the copper piece back in. Is there anything else of note in this pile?
The child-sized sarcophagus.
What do you define as note without me reading the paragraph?
Okay. Beautiful.
I'm walk
so-
up behind Rolak.
And just interrupt me. Go ahead.
Oh, just ask him if we can take something to help us here, like a diamond if we find it, in case we die.
I'm getting there, brother.
All right, cool. All right, I'm gonna go lay back down.
Alright,
See you later.
cool.
All right, cool.
We gotta find something other than bronze or copper coins. Or what I was gonna say is within these. So there are gems, shitty armor, some stuff like that within this pile, and within those gems, are there any diamonds?
As you sift through, roll me a D100, Rolex.
No way!
There's like
100.
diamonds in there.
What the hell is
shit.
happening
That's
today?
What's going on?
Holy
That's
shit,
the only
Foundry.
gems that are in there.
Listen, can we just fast forward and fight Strahd right now?
Sure, let's do it. All right, so Strahd shows up. He suddenly is just summoned by the fact that you exist. So there are two things that you find, which is indeed roll me a D4.
20?
Or-
What the hell? What the actual hell?
Here are all my notes, Drake and Clancy. You guys are going to
This
be
is
the
the part
DM
where
now.
you realize-
I'm playing.
Y'all are getting all excited, but I have a bad feeling they are also going to roll these rolls, and someone's going to get crit into the fucking dirt tonight.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
There is that.
Let's do it. We're all critting.
What's really
Amazing.
interesting is if you roll 100 on a D100, you actually get a long rest.
Yeah, now you're
Oh,
just
let's take
reaching.
that real
Now you're just
Fuck up,
reaching.
Sal. You cheeky fuck.
All right, you find 4 different diamonds that are just big old clunkers. You think all of these would likely be used in a resurrection ritual of some sort.
So, I'm gonna look over and be like, Percy, I haven't known you that long, so don't take this personally, but I'm not gonna have you be the holder of this. Knack. You're our resident loot lord anyway.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Who does anybody have the ability to either cast resurrect or learn resurrect soon?
Eventually.
Drake knows the answer to this question, but I'm trying not to just force it.
I
Eventually.
don't know what school of magic that is.
That's probably a no then, brother.
I truly don't. I did. Sorry.
Necromancy.
Does anybody?
No.
Nobody? as I'm kind of like holding these like in my hand, these 4 big diamonds.
Mammoth gems.
I can't right now.
Will you be able to at some point?
I think so. My god hasn't talked to me about it yet.
So I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna put them in your hand, and I'm gonna go put these in your bag.
This is like more than I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, well, we'll probably be dead within a few hours, so it doesn't really matter. But for now, just put them in your bag.
Shh! Don't feed me with this. Just let me be happy for once.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go to the second one. This is the one that you said had the pretty rapier sitting out of it, broken armor, more coinage, correct?
Mm-hmm.
God, I hope that
Is this
rapier
one
is
also copper?
The second one. Sorry, trying to also add gems at the same time.
You're good.
Silver.
Silver. Okay.
Thousands and thousands of silver pieces.
And the only thing of real note would be the rapier that was sticking out, the pretty rapier.
Yeah. You do have to kind of push Hoyt back as he seems to be just kind of drooling over all this silver that just seems to be lying.
No,
there.
I've got something for that.
But-
Is the rapier silvered or is it just regular?
Silvered. There just seems to be like
Okay.
this very elaborate glass kind of like beautification that is built around the hilt of the thing.
There's a nice rapier here. Does anybody have the need for a silvered rapier?
No, sir.
Fighting vampires, who doesn't?
Dagmar again. So I'm
Oh,
gonna walk over and hand the silvered rapier to Dagmar.
Is it cursed?
Yes.
We'll find out later.
Dagmar,
Cursed. I can
roll
talk
a-
to ghosts. Wait a second.
Roll a D1000. I'm sure you roll 1,000.
On that, so we've got all this silver. Trying to think. Does anybody need to potentially silver something?
Nope.
I don't have a need, but I know some spells need powdered silver.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I can
Hey,
sit
Hoyt.
here and do that.
Yeah. Could you potentially... Rel, how much... Does anybody have any... Let's back up. Does anybody have any spells that could use powdered silver?
No.
I mean, I know people do, but Ral does it.
I don't need it either.
Relax. You would just know that something like protection from evil and good could use that. You would know that just as a paladin, right? So
Yeah.
I'll throw that out for
I
you.
don't have that spell, though.
Dagmar, you could certainly pick that spell up, cycling through. So that would be an option for you guys. And then, of course, because Knack is not here, I'll just say that Knack kind of goes in there like, well, if we can somehow get, resistance going, having a lot of silvered weapons might be good. I don't know. That was my best Jeremy.
Okay. Hoyt, can you maybe get like 100 gold or 100 silver worth of powdered silver for us?
Sure.
Okay.
And Hoyt goes over and specifically picks out the coins to grind that has Strahd's face on it.
I can appreciate that. All right, door number 3.
Because I
Wait,
personally
there's doors in there?
because I personally hate EP, which is Electrum pieces, which is the stupidest thing ever. It's essentially, I
Yeah.
think, a combination between, what is it, gold and silver or gold and platinum. I hate them.
Yeah.
So these ones are just gold. They're like a half step between silver and gold. Makes no sense. But yeah, there's thousands of gold pieces that all have Strahd's visage on them.
Is there anything else in the pile of note, or just mound of gold?
Dresses, gowns, empty bottles. Statues of saints. This stuff seems all interesting, but not necessarily
Okay.
boom, boom, pow, pow. It's more roleplay.
Nah. So now, I know somebody needed to gild something, didn't they?
Bend
I
it.
think you're thinking of Finn.
Oh,
You
okay.
needed a
Actually, no,
gilded
no, no.
acorn.
Knack does too. He wants to get a gilded skull.
Too motherfucking soon, bud. All right. Too motherfucking.
Sorry. Okay. So, how much? Okay. Well, Knack's not here. Sorry. Well,
There would be plenty that you guys could work with if you guys just have the time, and Hoyt like finds a way to like smelt it and properly cast it.
well, the bigger thing I was thinking about is how much gold does he need to do the gilded? Because we could just pick it up and do it later.
Yeah, you guys can do that.
Yeah. So we'll come back to that. We'll go to pile number
Put a
4.
pin in it.
Pile number 4.
This one is actually a pile of iron ingots, easily weighing like maybe 2.5 tons,
Oh,
something
shit.
like that. It's a shit ton. That's the one with the holy symbols in it. There are 12 copper chalices with silver filigree, a gilded skull with red garnets in its eye sockets, and some warhammers and war picks. This is the thing that Knack could use. We'll let him know. He'll be really excited. So, hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Knack. Question for you.
Hey.
I'm gonna pick the item in question, put it behind my back.
You see a gilded, beautiful skull that has these.
He doesn't
little...
see it yet.
Well, he put something behind his back.
Knack.
Hey.
Hey,
What's up?
Didn't you need a gilded skull?
I mean, I need one for a particular spell that I don't have. Yeah.
Think fast. I'm gonna throw it at him.
It breaks.
I'm just kidding. We found a beautiful gilded skull with rubies in its eyes.
Oh.
Garnets, but yes. So
Oh.
particular.
Garnets, rubies, you know, who's counting?
Yeah, I'm just don't mind. I just gotta go check.
Question, because we were just looking at the gold to gild a skull for you. This is that. Did you need gold to gild anything else, to do anything else? Or could you in the future? Because there's a pile over there of thousands of gold, is why I'm asking. And it's
Yeah.
not like we can go shopping at Macy's.
Who's Macy?
what's Macy's?
Woman I used to know.
Oh,
She had a store, I take it?
Yeah. Kind of went under about 5 years. I mean, it still exists, but the flow of business has really just appreciated since its heyday was about 30 years ago.
That's what you get when you sell things for only 60 gold.
So Knack, you look and think and see if there might be something you need later. And then Hoyt, I don't know if there's anything you can do with all these ingots, but I mean, I know at one time we were like trying to beg, borrow, and steal some, and then there's just a whole pile of them there.
We'd all be in the best armor we could wear if I had time, but we don't have
Well,
time.
I mean, I'm sure we can go to a forge and spend a couple weeks and work on it, and no one will bother us. I mean, sure. What's in pile number 5?
More silver pieces, again, thousands and thousands of them. And I'll just read them all because, I would have almost skipped over the gilded skull if we did that. 6 non-magical crystal balls. Bronze crown with tiny gemite dragons for spires. Looks pretty rich. A life-sized wooden pony. And 6 marble vases. They're like those big, massive china pieces, right?
Question about the crown. It's a crown with dragons?
Yep.
Does it have 5 different dragons?
As you look at it, there's a red, green, black,
Yeah.
white,
Yeah, I know
and
what
a
these
blue
are.
gem.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that and put that in my bag.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna roll up to Rolak. I'm gonna say, you don't think that wooden pony looks a bit suspicious? There's something inside of it.
that would.
That is a good point. I'm gonna draw out the sun sword and I'm gonna cut the wooden pony in half.
All right. As you suddenly see Kylo Ren teleport into the setting, he's like, "No, I hate happiness and childhood memories." And yeah, you just absolutely destroyed it. It's almost.
You went dirty. We're thinking Troy.
Yeah, basically.
Oh,
How dare you, sir?
Come on, it's European.
No,
Dad.
Minus
it's-
GM
it's-
inspiration.
It's European.
Oh my god.
Yeah. We weren't
I just
going
went dark.
there. That's why he was like, there's something in
Trojan
the
horse.
horse. Yeah, the Trojan
Yeah.
horse.
You
Yeah.
cut through it, and it was indeed just like a beautiful Trojan horse that now
Blood
inside
pours
of
out
I'm
of
gonna
the
look
fox was hiding in
Mhm.
it.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
look over at Rel and be like, better to be safe. Good call.
But I think there's a ghost in there. I'm sure you got it though.
I wanted to kick around the pile that you said the holy, like the little holy
We haven't got-
statues and
I'm
stuff
guessing
were
that's
in.
this one. I'm guessing it's the last
That's
one.
4. That's
So-
4. So 1, 2. You know what? I can just give those numbers. Silly me.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I
New
know.
text.
New text 1, new text 2, new text 2.
Oh man. No. Copy paste, man. I'm too old for typing things out manually. All right. So, anyways, you're poking around in it.
I wanted to see if there were like 2 little statue miniaturettes of Lathander in there.
Oh, sure thing. Absolutely.
What are they made out of?
Clay.
Okay. I'm gonna pick up 2 of them and just slide them in my pocket.
Hey, Hoyt, I got an idea for you.
Hmm.
I don't know how we would be able to do this, but you could take those and silver them.
And silver the holy symbols?
Yeah.
For what purpose?
So you could put it on a vampire and burn the shit out of him.
It's a thought.
Just if we wanted to mark our corpses afterwards. Like a brand.
How many more little statuettes are there?
A lot of them. During that, Dagmar, go ahead and roll me.
Shit. The fox.
Roll me a religion or investigation check with advantage. So just a. Yeah, the first roll will hold through just because the exhaustion is going to be automatic on that one. As far as the statuettes go, there's where did that thing go? There are 8 of them.
Okay.
18 with
Ooh,
disadvantage. She
Jesus.
is rolling
And
some
because it
dice.
was
But
a
it was gonna be a
straight
flat
roll.
roll.
It was going to be the nat 19, so a 20 total.
Oh shit.
Hot fire.
There's another thought that occurs to you, Dagmar, as they're kind of talking about the silvering and whatnot. Silver and iron are necessary to create holy water. And with this right here, you could potentially holify a metric cubic Fton of water.
Didn't even think about that.
I got an idea. Like she's like, it's big brain time. Hold up.
Are you openly talking about this with the group?
Oh yeah.
So Dagmar, I could do that too. If we worked on it together, we could crank out some holy juice.
I prefer to just call it water. Yeah.
That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
Calling it holy water? Yes, thank you. No.
Oh, and there were 6 empty bottles over there, right?
Oh, no.
Did they have-
That one pile is just
Yeah.
bottles upon bottles. I think they don't even give you a number. It's just,
Do they have lids?
Or corks?
Yeah.
Well, we know I'm bad with
I'll tell you what,
opening up
roll me,
corks from bottles.
Hoyt, roll me a D100.
You suck.
It has
Where
to
them rolls?
balance.
Boo.
Everything has to balance. What shit, what did you roll for the stream?
An 8.
Hey. Where did that go? Do you guys remember which pile that was in?
Times another D100.
3, I think.
Yeah, 3.
I think it was 3.
But write it down.
There
It's
are
the one
all
with
in
the
all-
dresses as well, right?
There are no lids, there are no corks, but there are 75 bottles all in all. As you guys kind of pick them up and
Okay. What's in pile 6?
Not much. There's a deck of many things, a holy defender.
I wish you would give us one. I'd start pulling cards out as fast as I could until I got
Oh, no.
tackled.
He's just trying to
Oh,
have it
yeah.
now. There are. This one is weird. As you kind of go through, you see that there is more gold in this one, but as you get close, you kind of do the same thing and you do that old trick of like biting it, and the gilding comes off as you realize this is actually not even gilded. This is just wooden coins that are painted gold. Weird. There are, however, thousands upon thousands of copper pieces in iron pots, and there's an obsidian scepter with gold filigree. You think this thing would belong to a monarch. It is absolutely gorgeous. And 11 rusted helmets, totally worthless. However, the true find of this pile is these 15 thin leather-bound tomes, all of them signed copies of a storybook called Snowdwarf and the Seven Whites by Nietzsche Rickmay.
Wow.
I don't know how to feel about this.
Wow.
Hey,
I'm not even
I
kidding.
read
That is
book
that
in
is
my
official.
childhood.
I was
Wow.
waiting for it's
Oh.
it's 7-book series of the Busty Argonian.
We could. Hold
That's
on.
better.
We
Spit
could,
that
we
water
could-
out, David.
We could gild our own thing here. We've got iron pots. We've got a shit ton of wood and these coins and some of this other shit. If we wanted to make
And
a
Rail
fire,
can make a fire.
yeah, Rail can make a fire.
I can
We
make
put this iron
much
pot
fire.
over it. We melt down some of the silver, and we could silver, your things if you wanted. Just saying.
We could also make a really mean trap too.
Well, I'm more interested in making holy water personally because I'd like to throw them like water balloons at these angry vampires. But
Question for you then. Do we want to sit here and do the things we need to do?
well, I think we've got a few hours before it would be time for us to like actually rest. So, the only problem is to make holy water. Yeah. I'm trying to. I don't want to Google it, but I think doesn't it take 30 minutes or an hour to make
We'll have to
one?
look at ceremony. Let me put that in chat for us.
I have ceremony. I can cast it. Here, I'll cast it and not consume a spell slot.
Yeah, you touch one vial of water and cause it to become holy water, but you need 25 GP worth of silver, powdered silver, which it consumes.
Yeah, and you need the spell slot.
1 hour.
Oh, it is
Yeah,
an
but
hour.
yeah, but it's also a spell. It's a spell to do.
If you're a ritual caster,
Yeah, because paladins are so ritual.
I think you actually are a ritual caster, so you could do this again and again and again. I think. I'll have to double check.
I have, because that's what we talked about it the other day, and we were like, "Oh, he's not." I'm like, "I think I am," because
Holy water, as written, actually has. So this is before ceremony was an official spell. They say a cleric or a paladin may create holy water by performing a special ritual. The ritual takes 1 hour to perform, uses 25 GP worth of powdered silver, and requires the caster to expend the first double spell slot.
Yeah,
but it is ritual, so they technically took that out for as compared to the holy waters language. Which is interesting.
So it wouldn't take a spell slot, but it would take an hour to make one.
Let me double check. I think paladins are ritual casters. If they're not, then I stand corrected. But then it doesn't make sense that
I would have ritual spells like it and
but
detect magic.
Dagmar could pick it up because she can just switch out her first double spells. Anyway, as that goes on, Casimir, the Dusk Elf, will go, I commend your consideration looking at the resources here, but we still have a shadow. The shadow could easily kill us, and I'm not too eager to have that happen.
I cannot ritually cast, by the way. Paladins are not ritual casters. The only reason I was thinking that'd be great is because if we're going to spend a few hours before we rest, I could theoretically do 2 or 3 of them. But okay. Yeah, I know. I understand that the fox could come blow us up, but none of us have any health or any ability to keep fighting. So
Well, maybe we are looking at it from the wrong perspective. You seem to be a well-seasoned warrior, a soldier. I think maybe you have become used to approaching the situation by cutting down the wooden pony, for lack of better metaphor. Maybe instead of fighting, we have beat back this thing twice now. Maybe there is a chance we can, I don't know, come to a agreement with it.
well, I don't think any of us have a problem with that, and I don't think it's me being a soldier. It's the fact that the first time he saw us, he threw a fireball at us, and then the second time he saw us, he threw a fireball at us.
I'm going
Did you mention the fireball?
I'm gonna. I think I know what he's talking about. I'm gonna say, it was chain lightning.
Oh, sorry.
Fried your brain. Okay.
No.
I mean,
Go ahead, Dagmar.
I don't even know how we could offer a treaty at this point. We've all tried to attack it. It's tried to attack us.
Well,
Unless
We tried to attack it. It attacked us.
as an arcanist, I don't know how long it can keep up with this barrage of spells that it throws at us. It has to comply with the restrictions of the weave just as much as you and I, as far as I understand the study of the arcane. It cannot do this forever. Eventually, we are going to wear it down too. But the question is, if we fight this thing again, how many of us will die before it does? And will that be worth it?
If you'd like to go out there and wave a white flag, I'm all means for it. I do think that I know. Have we been in here roughly long enough to take a short rest?
Not quite, no.
I think we should stay in here for right about an hour, just long enough for us to kind of catch our breath. And then if you want to take point, you're welcome to go and try to broker a negotiation.
I try. I am not the most, I'm not a very eloquent person. I like to stick to myself.
Okay, well, then unless anybody has any other ideas, I mean, I guess let's
So
just hang it.
So he wants to parlay.
Well, that's his idea.
What do we have to parlay with?
Our mutual destruction.
He's been throwing some pretty heavy shit at us, but here's the yin to that yang. If he's got one more of those heavy spells, he's going to pop 2 or 3 of us down immediately, and we won't have anything left. If we're all full health, while he's going to still be able to hit us hard, at least I don't know. I don't think there's a great answer for it. Let's just take a vote.
The reason
Percy.
before you take your vote, I am suggesting this is, you assume that he's not going to murder us in our sleep. It is what
I
would
think he's going to try. I absolutely think he's going to try. But at least if we can try to set up a trap for him, and there's only one way he can try to run at us, theoretically, we have better chance than if we just keep, I don't know, poking around.
So,
My vote here, I'll go first. My vote is we finish kind of a brief little rest here, a short rest, and then we keep on going and try to find this guy.
so the decision we're making is either A, fight the squirrel or B, not fight the squirrel?
Well, no, I think the decision we're making is: are we going to hunker down here and hope that we can take a long rest, knowing that there's a good chance we won't be able to, but we can at least try? Or do we want to just finish a little bit of a short rest here and then continue moseying through and see if we can find this squirrel, and then whether it be through combat or conversation, settle this? Because while we're tapped, he, Lord willing, should be a little bit tapped also.
I mean, what I would suggest is maybe we can try to take these pile of armament here and put it over in that corner and try to barricade the best that we can. Not saying that gold and armor and junk weapons are going to stop him, but it might help. And we could attempt a long rest. That'd be my vote. But, you know, who am I?
Okay, Dagmar.
But I have to use the restroom. I'll be right back.
There's a pile over there for that.
It's pile number 7, just a bucket.
Pile number 7, the cauldron.
It has a little compost label on it.
Oh my god.
We can make holy pee with it later.
Too far.
No. I mean, I don't. Meta-wise, I'm not gonna get anything from this short rest at all. I'm out of hit dice. I'm not gonna get shit.
I'll get, as a warlock and the person that's going to have to walk forward and talk to him, I'll get both my spell slots back, which means I can put Armor of Agathis on myself and hopefully absorb 1 hit.
So what I was gonna suggest is, if you guys want, my worry is that, I know we just did vote, but my worry is that us doing a short rest will allow him to do a short rest, and I don't know what spells he'll be able to take back.
Okay, so your vote is no rest, just go.
Or if you guys want to rest, and I can try
no,
to wave the white
no,
flag.
Dagmar, you make your vote. What do you want?
No rest.
Okay, Hoyt, no rest, short rest and go, or try and figure out a way to long rest?
I get nothing from short. I get what Dagmar's saying. But the counter to what she's saying, sure, we get a long rest, he gets one too. But there's 2 things from that. Is he paranoid enough to get a long rest as well? Also, whatever he throws at us, we could potentially counter if we had a long rest. So, I'd like a long rest. That'd give us more time or me to shred some of this stuff up for us, but, I mean, it's a catch-22. We could be screwed either way. So,
Okay.
I'm down with whatever the
What's
party
your vote?
chooses.
What's your vote, man?
Long rest.
Knack.
I don't see any possible way we could possibly take a long rest right now with
I
the
agree.
fox watching everything that we do.
I agree.
If he is watching everything we do, he will know if we try to bed down. Therefore, he will bed himself down, and we'll both get a long rest, and then we'll be in the same boat we've always been in. The short rest idea, slightly okay with. I would rather, however, take action now, even though we are very vulnerable. I know most of us don't have any way to regain any of our life force. My only fear is running into another big baddie. So I think we go on. I think we try to confront the fox, and whether we parlay or we end up duking it out, try to parlay with this guy, and he is pretty set in stone that we don't get anything. However, I think a promised mutual destruction might sway him from his earlier disposition. So I say we go on.
Rel.
I also say we go on. That's fine with me. I'm a fiery individual.
We go on then. All right, Dagmar, you take point.
Before we go, I will use my sorcery points to give myself 1 second level spell slot using 3 sorcery points. Using Font of Magic.
Neato. So, did we want to try to parlay or?
I think we're
go
just gonna have to
forward?
play that by ear.
I think we go into it like that, but depending on what he does.
It's actually that feature, flexible casting.
Nice.
How much powdered silver do you think I would have got while we were sitting there?
Oh, not very much, but
Just pick up silver coins, put them in your pocket.
Before we leave, I can hold an iron ingot. If somebody else could hold another one, and everybody grab some silver, that would help with sharing the load. Because I can't carry it all.
I'll grab some silver.
yeah, we'll hash out the details later.
Okay. I'll just
Alrighty.
walk it down.
As we push forward there, I actually have to run to the bathroom too, and as you guys are starting to go through the crack, I'm guessing forward or back into the main room? The crack.
No, crack. Yeah,
Mhm.
the north.
North.
All right. As
Crack
you guys
field.
push forward that way, we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Sounds good.
Got a really upset stomach.
That's what happens when you
All right. As we're going back in, you guys ended up taking a little bit of a vote and decided that pushing on and potentially parlaying with the Foxman might be the best choice that you guys have left at this point. But as you guys also not looted the place and took some things out of the different piles and stuffed them into your pockets, roll like it's less that you hear a voice or anything. There's just anger building inside of you as you guys push forward. One by one, you guys squeeze through the tight fissure and into the room beyond. As you guys do, you see that this place has 3 large amber structures here. As you check over it, Casimir just goes, This is it. These are the blocks that I have come for. This is how Strahd got his power, and this is how we can fight him. Please, to do this.
Somebody say dance off.
You're talking about
Before,
these. Oh, I apologize. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say before we start anything, just a reminder we did hear something upstairs.
Oh, yeah, good call. Good call. So you came for these blocks?
Yes, not for the blocks themselves, but for what is contained therein.
Percy's gonna start looking around for a chisel.
What's contained within?
The dark powers. The things with which Strahd parlayed. The things that granted him the power he has now. Imagine anything you've ever wanted. These things, these remnants and shadows of ancient dead gods. They have the divine spark left to grant this. So get
we're
your
gonna
chisel.
leave them. No, we're gonna leave them in there.
Casimir kind of straightens this back a little bit more. I was direct with what I wanted out of these. This power.
I'm not saying we can't do it, but maybe let's deal with the fox before we start opening up dead demigods. Just a thought.
Sure.
Ditto.
Just thinking. We're in a room here. He hears us chiseling these things open. He throws fireball down to the bottom. There's no more need for us to open anything.
As you say that, kind of seemingly originating from the center of the room that you're in, you feel just this echoing voice going, I could indeed do this. Tell me, why shouldn't I?
And as I hear that, I'm gonna just step away from the group for now altogether.
Yep, I'm
Just
all
mass scattering.
I'm going to kind of, I guess, speak back up and just go, is your goal to try to kill as many of us as you can before we kill you?
Depends on the situation. I've heard you debate. We are at an interesting impasse here. I would like my arcane sanctum restored to a semblance of privacy. Quiet. Your buffoonery within this hall has made it hard to do what I do.
And what is that?
My business.
We're trying to be friendly here. not exactly the time for dark and mysterious.
Oh. Nothing but dark and mysterious. Left after my abode was so rudely burned.
I'm a hell of an interior decorator. If you want it fixed, I can do it.
Well, we can include that potentially. I would actually like some upgrades. Maybe you could wait, are you just
I'm not bullshitting you. I can do it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Fine.
Why don't you come downstairs? And
Absolutely not. Do you think I'm a fool? Do you think I will just walk into your, theater, your scene that you set up so that I may be slaughtered and swarmed by mere mortals? No.
Okay, sure.
We can speak like this, yes.
Fine. Works fine.
What?
You want us to leave, correct?
Yes.
Okay. We came here with one goal. To learn everything we could about Strahd and how to harm and or kill him. Can you contribute to that?
Quickly will you leave?
I'm gonna look over at the group and be like, do we have anything else we need to do here?
Well, our friend wants to chisel of amber.
I do. You seek to release the Dark Ones.
Not for, from what he's told us, not for negative purposes. More to right a wrong.
Yes.
We'll put a pin in that. If we're willing to, and I'm gonna kind of look at the group and be like, stop me if I go off course here. If you give us the information we need, and you allow us to take a long rest, get good sleep, so before we descend down the mountain, and because we also don't want to do that in the dead of night, because the sun should be setting soon, we would leave basically at first light.
Well,
No,
do I
see what I
know
can
you're
do.
not just seeking a way to regain your magic, to insult me once more?
Well, I can say by Lathander, I would not harm you. I will go back to your statue and try to fix up something nice for you. I won't. I personally won't.
Let's think bigger. Maybe not the statue. Imagine one of the rooms you have seen. What do you think you could do with that?
Going on to an episode of Fixer Upper here.
Well, I could give you the nice farmhouse look if that's what you want.
Oh
Good
my
countryside.
Barn doors?
Let's talk budget.
Hold on.
But is there
Okay, barn
shiplap
doors.
involved?
Very much so, shiplap if you'd like it. Maybe some stone lap. Have you ever seen stone lap?
I have not. Please tell me more.
It looks like shiplap, but it's made of stone.
Okay, that was more simple than I thought it would be.
Yeah, well, it is.
And
But
look at
you-
the bright
but
side
if-
of your commute.
Did you make shiplap
The
out
marble-
of stone? Isn't that technically
Yeah.
what marble shiplap would be?
Yeah, but it's on your wall, so it'd be like a big ass backsplash. You know?
I think you're less educated in these matters than you think you are, but I think you might be able to do the job. I'll appreciate that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuff and
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
things and stuff and things.
On Hoyt's resume, minor armor interior designer. A new subclass has
yeah.
been unlocked.
Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Plus
so
5 to decorating.
we'll make up one of the rooms for you. We have no interest in harming you. It doesn't sound like you have direct interest in harming us. And you give us the information we need, we leave at first light. Do we have an accord?
You will not strike at me once more.
As long as you don't.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you're the one that kicked the party off by shocking the shit out of us.
I try to, do the thing that most mortals respect: God talk and warning omens, and, when you didn't listen to me, of course I had to strike with the thunder of course I needed to defend my
Then you
place.
fireballed the shit out of us when we didn't even
Stand your damn tomb, is what I always say.
Anyway, water under the bridge.
Stone under the mountain.
Yeah. What sayings?
So, do we have an accord?
The accord would be that first, the dwarf does whatever he thinks he can do in terms of renovating one of the rooms to be more palatable to me. Second, you shall remain in the place in which you were before you attacked my sweet compatriots.
Place that we were.
He seems to be talking about the place where he took the first short rest with the furs.
Oh, that he blew the doors off of?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And you shall not step any closer to the rest of this. If you do, it will be considered a violation.
But don't we need to be back in this room? For Casimir?
I'm
gonna kind of like look at Dagmar like, come on, girl.
Casimir just kind of like nods towards you appreciatively. Yes, I do have to make this part of the agreement. We are going to need to speak with these Dark Ones. The powers that they contain is what we need to defeat Strahd with. Are you going to stand in our way, Foxman?
What do you say?
Are you sure?
Ding, 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 ding,
Ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding, ding.
No. No.
As you trigger the Foxman. Why do they always go... Alright. Are you sure you want to do this?
He wants to do this.
He
We
wants
did
to
not
do
say
it.
we wanted to.
I've got some decorating to do. You just point out the room.
Knack, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, boy.
Total of?
15.
All right. As you stand there and, Rolek be Rolekking and your masterpiece standing next to you just doing this a lot, you're just like, whatever. You turn towards the alcoves themselves, and you can see that deep within, and you can't technically step inside of those, FY. Deep within those, there seems to be this weird radiating darkness swirling back and forth. You consider the one to the east, and you see it kind of like weaving this hypnotic pattern to it. You look to the one to the west, and it has a similar one. But as you look to the one in the south, it seems to actually have rearranged itself. As you consider it, you step a little bit closer, and you can tell that whereas the other two seem to be just like these swirling formations of smoke that is just kind of contained within the amber, this one actually seems to form itself, actually shape into what seem to be arcane runes or made out of the shadow stuff that is contained therein. And as you consider that, you do see some necromantic runes that you have worked with yourself. Powerful runes that spell death in an instant. They rearrange, and there you see kind of floating in Orcish is just the power over death. You see it's just kind of like rearranged to like different arcane formulae. The wisdom saving throw was not against the spell, and this thing is not trying to take over your mind, but it's rather on how well you can try to keep the welling excitement and eagerness under a lid as they're having this conversation. What is it that you want to know about the vampire, anyway? It's not that interesting.
Tell us his story. How did it happen? How did he gain his power?
Are we agreed then that you will stay within the barbarian's room?
We'll stay within the barbar-
There's somebody else here in this temple with you. Supposedly. Allegedly. Allegedly, there is a powerful lich hiding out here.
He is the worst. You do not want to be involved with him.
He may hold the key to helping defeat Strahd. I think he provides a lot of the backbone.
Well, he
I guess.
certainly may have at some point, but now he has no memory left, as far as I can tell. The conversations we've had were short and curt. He told me to not disturb the library, and in exchange, I can have the rest of this place. I every once in a while sneak past, but the Lich has discontinued his attachment to knowledge, if you will.
Hey, Knack, I've got an idea. I think you'll like it. Okay.
You know I can hear you.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to whisper that. I was... So, yes. Our compatriot here would like to talk to these dark gods. That's on him. We will go to the room. We will decorate your room. But then we do wish to, at first light when we wake up, go and deal with this lich. Now, hear my full proposition. You said that he requires you to stay on your side and you get the rest of the place. If we go and deal with him, this entire place would be yours.
Promising. Foolhardy, he would probably kill you, but I'm about it.
If we die, we're gone anyway. If we kill him, then the whole place is yours. So it's kind of a
Caveat.
win-win.
The win-win will be in this way. Only the orcish one may come
Come where?
to meet the Lich.
Why can't we just go kill him for you?
I like having a Lich in my back pocket, if you will. He is nice to speak to every once in a while. He has a keen mind, it's just bereft of any knowledge. Any old memories. I don't remember what or who he once was. Or he doesn't. I don't know what you would want to get from him.
We'll look over at Knack and be like,
Nothing ventured, nothing gained.
look at everybody else and see if anybody has any objections to this agreement.
It was his vision. It was his dream. It's his call.
Okay, so just to reiterate, so we make sure we're on the same page here. You will tell us everything you know about Strahd, how he came to be, any weaknesses that you may know. You will divulge all that information and you will share it with us. Then you will take Knack to see this Lich. Hoyt will go work on your new room. The rest of us will be allowed to rest, and you will tell all under your power or any entities that may resurrect that we are no longer enemies and not to attack us.
All those within my power will not attack you. Yes.
I don't like that phrasing.
Yeah.
Are there things in here that are not within your power that could attack us?
Yes.
And what are those?
Well, first of all, you and one
What are
another.
those?
What are those? It's just this
Yeah,
pair of vans that suddenly runs by. Well, there's a pair of witches. There's this buffoon of a wizard's apprentice. The skulls generally, we get along. But
So there's a
destroy
lot of
them.
other things in this place.
Yeah, it's a big place.
Now I'm gonna look at the group and be like, well, I mean, we could clear this place out. We can see if he wants us to kill it. I know you can hear me. I'm not trying to whisper from you. Do we want to see about taking out these other witches and like this apprentice wizard? Where are the witches and the apprentice wizard?
To the east.
They're in the Amber Temple, though?
Yes.
Would you like us to kill them?
Sure. But that's not part of the deal. If you feel like killing something that sounds like a personal problem, or,
Okay, let me rephrase. So part of the deal is you do not want us to kill the Lich because you want to have him in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we good with that, first and foremost?
Sounds like a
I'm
nag
fine with it.
question.
I'll be honest, I didn't come here to kill him. I'm actually. If you have any knowledge of like where he's like really touchy about you going besides the library, that really helped too.
His
'Cause-
quarters. The library is usually okay unless he's in there, but his quarters, you might upset him depending on what mental state he's currently in.
All right.
Yeah, I think we have an accord unless anybody feels differently.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to work on this room, he needs to give me a piece of paper that tells me what kind of features he'd like.
We can deal with that once everyone else is safely within the barbarian's room. Court is hereby struck.
All right.
Sweet.
So, what do you know about Strahd?
Once upon a time.
Hold on, I got a book you want to reference?
And as you kind of hold up the tome, you do hear, well, actually, the lack of hearing is the thing. There's just a pause. Well, that is interesting. That certainly is written by the man himself. Well, why didn't you just read that book instead?
It has a tendency to really mess us up.
So did the Amber Temple. These mortals. In any case, Strahd came to the Barovian Valley to conquer. And he succeeded. He was able to, destroy most of the populace, destroy the Silver Dragon Argynvost and dominate the lands. He had actually traveled, as far as I was able to decipher so far, for quite some time. One of the most successful warlords of his age. Then he settled down. His weakness? His weakness is the codependency of the love of others. His weakness is thinking himself a great man, while torturing and murdering those around him into submission, to force them to love him. For the thing that nobody ever truly did was love him. You're probably looking for, oh yes, use the radiance of the sun to burn him away. He's a vampire. You didn't know that. You had not much of a chance to defeat him. Of course that would help. But if you're looking at the true story of Strahd, it is how pathetic and lonely of a man he was. Thinking that he deserved love by virtue of being a great man in his own eyes, rather than being a deserving man. He forced his love upon others. Others idly stood by. That is the darkness that this place holds. That is what the dark powers now feed upon. And feed upon his misery. You are within the dread domains, mortals. An amalgamation of so many different dark worlds, of individuals truly great, powerful, and pathetic. They are prisoners within their own minds, their own desires, their own ego. The truth is, Strahd will never be let go of this place. Others have defeated him, and he was reborn, reformed.
Can I ask you something on that?
Sure.
We spoke to one of his lieutenants that's trying to usurp him, and he kind of mentioned just as much, that he's been killed before and he just came back, and unless someone is willing to take his place, he'll never truly be defeated. Is that accurate?
I would call it a promising hypothesis, perhaps. One I would be most interested in, well, documenting the outcome of. I have seen the approach that you seem to favor fail. I have known adventurers who came here and survived interacting with me. They too ventured to the castle. They too killed the man known as Strahd. They left the place thinking themselves heroes. And in so many seasons, the mists returned. The bats flew on high. And Strahd once more ruled over the place.
Question, after they killed him, were they able to leave?
Yes. If that is all you seek, then by all means, defeat the man, grind his nose into his own defecation, lord over his defeat, and feed the dark powers, for that is what feeds them.
How many other adventurers have you talked to?
Many. Not that many get to here, I would figure. Every century or so, another group does happen to make it. This place is not for the faint of heart.
Does anybody else have any questions?
How many centuries have you been here?
This place, almost since its inception, actually. I'm somewhat of a expert upon this specific study. I travel the other dread domains as well, but there's something special about Barovia.
What's your name?
You...
We've been making conversation, we've been making deals, and it's sad that we don't even know what your name is.
What is yours?
My name's Hoyt. What's yours?
The DM is looking up that information currently because the token is
Right.
Yeah.
I hate when I'll be doing that and somebody, and like, I'll be like into it, and they're like, "What's your name?" And you're like, "I've completely forgotten that. Let me go to my notes."
Like, I had it
Or I
right
just
there,
saw
and then it
this, like,
disappeared.
What's your
Dan
middle
the
name?
14th.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't go there. That's just low. You may call me Neferon.
Never on.
Here's an easy moniker. Neferon is never wrong. You'll never forget it.
Anything else?
I actually do have a question about Strahd's younger brother. Yeah. He was given this place as a gift, was he not?
Oh, he was. He's the one who carved it. He abandoned it soon thereafter, and after that, there were actually wizards and acolytes that moved into the place made it into what you see here today. A repository of profane artifacts, dark arcana. Strahd for a while was willing to let it exist. Eventually, however, he became seduced, as all mortals do, with power and promise thereof.
Silly mortals.
As he currently fucking drools.
So Sergey, I figured that he would have. Well, I figured Strahd would have killed him here. I know.
No. Sergey, as far as I was able to piece together up until now, was slated to marry the beautiful Tatiana, after whom Strahd was lusting. And that was the act that began it all. For when Strahd came here and made his deal with the dark power, he was promised eternal life and mastery of the arcane. He was given the ability to exist eternally, but it came at a cost, you see. On the wedding day of Sergei and Tatiana's, Strahd stepped forward and killed his brother in cold blood. The guards shot their own lord dead for such a treasonous act.
It's a hell of a wedding gift.
Indeed. Quite, poignant.
Wow.
Strahd's body hit the floor. And yet, he rose again as a dark shadow of himself. The guards looked at their former master in horror. But you know who ended up suffering the worst kind of horror? It was Strahd. For as he turned towards Tatiana, offering his, shall we call it, undying love, she stepped to the edge of the overlook between Castle Ravenloft and the village and flung herself to her death.
Good for her.
Good for everyone. Strahd became a monster that could never satisfy the reason why he wanted to become a monster, and lives now in eternal damnation within this prison.
Wait a minute. I think I figured it out. He needs true love. Hoyt, when we see him, if you give him a big, sloppy kiss, that may completely dissolve this whole thing.
I'm gonna take 3 steps back, Neveron. You can fireball that fucker.
Right, coming in 3, 2.
Okay.
Are you
Well,
ready
that,
for your date with a lich, Orc man?
Yeah, sure, why not? What's his name?
He does not know.
Sweet.
Do you not know?
I actually do not. I pride myself of the ability to decipher such things, and this lich has been so far a conundrum to me.
Well,
It's
let's
not-
see.
His name isn't Jeremy, is it?
Barely certain. I have never heard that name before. That seems a very odd name for this setting and timeline, but I've heard it some
You never
worlds.
know, I mean.
I don't. What an odd name for a child.
Hold
Who
on,
would
is
do
he a
that?
troll?
Oh yeah, definitely. Actually, you see that the dwarf is turning into a troll. Oh no, the toxic sludge is just coming off of both of them. Oh no, this friendship. Ah! All right, are we done with this now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it goes without saying, my friend, but if Knack is not returned to us in perfect health, then our deal is null and void.
I'm not going to protect him from the Lich's wrath if he invokes it himself. You may as well come at me, but you will have to compete with a Lich for the attention at that point.
Is this part of you keeping the lich in your back pocket?
Oh, the Lich is coming out. And Knack, it appears, will get to see this. First row. So I ask you again, are you ready for your date?
Color me pretty. Let's do it.
I am pretty, oh
I,
so
I
pretty.
have my best outfit on.
Your only
AKA
outfit.
only outfit.
That is amazing.
Go get that dress from in there.
All right.
Bleeding profusely.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick again because I shouldn't drink like half a gallon of water while we're on stream. But you guys discuss what do you guys want to say to the Lich? I'll be right back.
Well, it's not us. It's just
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, how do you want to die to the Lich?
I'm thinking that I'm just like, what is it called, Touch of Death, and it just reanimates me as a zombie. I think that'd be the best way to go.
Well, seriously, what are you gonna ask this fucker? Or have
Man,
you
I really
fucked
wish
off?
not really.
Patooey.
I'm gonna, ask about himself, how he's doing, how he feels being alone.
Who is your daddy?
Maybe-
What does he do?
Who's maybe needs some help around the place. Maybe somebody to carry on his work elsewhere. Maybe try to figure out his name.
Maybe how you become a Lich?
Maybe how he became a Lich, but he said he doesn't have any
remember
memories.
anything, yeah.
So I'm like,
That was smooth.
fudge.
That was mwah. You should have become a lawyer, Jeremy.
I feel like the fox the whole time was singing that Goo Goo Doll song. I won't tell him your name. Like, it's just like, come on now, man. You know his name. We're fucking with us.
Asimir takes you aside, Dagmar, as everyone else is kind of starting to filter out of the room. Knack kind of walks towards the staircase as Neferon asks you to step up. No, I am responsible for a lot of things. I am going to carry this burden. It is rightfully mine to carry.
Well, yeah. But I don't think what you're doing is a good idea. And I don't think it's gonna do her justice or make you feel better in the end. I mean, do you even know exactly what you're gonna ask? What you're gonna do? Because they could easily just turn her into a zombie or something and murder the hell out of all of us. I mean,
practiced the arcane for centuries. I will make sure that the wording on this is perfect.
and if you don't survive to live to see the fruition of this,
Then I am dead and nobody will mourn me. What does it matter? Dagmar, what I'm going to ask for is the ability to bring them all back.
all of them.
Starting with her. Yes. I owe it to her I owe it to our lost generation. And if I'm still alive, I will make sure to stand trial before all of you.
Hey, what you did was messed up, but you're not the one who ended up killing everyone else. I recognize that.
Didn't I, though? Just because I did not wield the sword, my action led to their deaths.
She could have done something wrong along the way and he would have done the same. He's a terrible person. If he's even a person at this point. If this is what you want, then okay. I plan on leaving Barovia either way after this if I live through it.
You should. You have suffered long enough.
Mm-hmm.
Will you stay with me to make sure that I can do this right?
That doesn't go against the agreement. I'll see what I can do. I'm not adept with the arcane arts like you.
No, but you
I
are.
can't even offer you a blessing.
You are the blessing. You always have been. To all of us. As he steps up towards the amber block, with all of the rest of the people kind of like having started to filter out. Of course, Master P goes with you.
Master P has to make a very good first impression here. Meeting a real deal lich.
Casimir steps up towards the block, and you see all of the darkness that is kind of swirling, diffused throughout the entire thing, suddenly condensed down into just like a single orb of darkness in the very center of it. And then start to move closer and closer. It's almost like the iris within an eyeball starting to focus in as Casimir steps closer and closer towards the block. You can hear this rumbling. It's the same whispering voice that you felt before. I was wondering how you would be. Casimir goes, yes, yes. You know I am here. Give me the power to bring back true life. Bring them all back. No tricks, no undeath. Actual life. Mortal and beautiful. Power over death. Is that what you want? Yes. Do with me whatever you want after I have accomplished my task of bringing the women of my tribe back. Until then, give me that power without limitation. Release me. Shall be sealed. As Casimir just looks back over towards you, Dagmar. There's just like the single tear kind of running down his cheek as he just like angrily wipes it away and goes, whatever happens next, you're the best of us. As he turns back around and kind of casts some magic forth and focuses it in on it, you see there's kind of like this ice that then turns into fire. He just alternates it back and forth, back and forth. This essentially like ray of frost, firebolt, ray of frost, firebolt. As she superheats and then cools down, superheats and cools down. You see the ember kind of like start to expand and then form cracks, expand and form no cracks. As suddenly there's a massive crack down the middle. And in that instant, darkness shoots out of this thing and starts to completely surround with its long black tendrils Casimir. It starts swirling around him as he's just kind of standing there transfixed, his eyes closed. And all of the darkness just pours into the man through every orifice. He actually is kind of lifted up off the ground as the darkness kind of constricts him, and like a couple feet off of the ground, he's just levitating there as the darkness goes further and further, and suddenly just disappears into the man. As Casimir drops down onto his knees. And you see as he's coughing up, there's just like blood splattering across the back of his hand and arm. You look at him and his eyes are just bloodshot. You see some capillaries, or I forget what they're called, just kind of burst inside of his
Capillaries.
Capillaries, that's what I was like. Tyler
Perry?
Cadbury. Yeah. As
Calligraphies.
John Calipari? What?
yeah, Carrie Perry. As everything is just kind of bloodshot and damaged to him. He kind of stands up. You see his veins seem to be just kind of like pulsing with black blood as he's looking towards you and kind of like staggering, holding himself on the amber. And the blackness within his veins slowly just kind of fades away until it disappears. His eyes
Can
still
I-
look.
Help. Sorry.
Yeah, you step up.
I just yeah.
Thank you. And you kind of help him stand upright. He's definitely looking rough. Really rough. You help him back through the crack. As we switch over to Knack and Master P.
Hey, it's me, the
That's the
necromancer.
And also another Carrie, Harry Carey.
Nice.
Ah, Harry.
All right. As you walk up the stairs, Knack, what you see is a beautiful stone library that has 20 feet high walls and 30-foot high vaulted ceilings. Covering the ceiling is a fresco that depicts angels being set ablaze in a hell. A black marble railing encloses a gold marble staircase that spirals gently down the 30-foot wide, 30-foot deep shaft all the way to the warehouse that you just came from. Against the gray walls stand 6 10-foot tall black marble bookcases. On their shelves are hundreds of well-preserved tomes. Embroidered rugs, chairs, and candelabras fill the southern half of this room. And you see the Foxmen, in perfect health, kind of just greeting you as you step up. Welcome to the library.
Quite impressive, as I would have expected.
Not mine, but in a way, it is. Though, there's a trick to them all. Well, are you ready?
I don't think anyone is ever ready.
Touche.
but,
I suppose that is kind of an out-of-touch trope way of saying that. Just follow me. As he kind of knocks on the door, on the wall here, and you can hear the hollowness of it kind of reverberating. He walks over and kind of just sits down on one of these beautifully embroidered left chairs and says, well, we best make ourselves comfortable. Sir Lich is not one who likes company, so he will likely be a little not in the best mood when he comes out. But giving him time usually gives him time to compose himself.
Well, and what's time, right?
To you mortals, everything. It's literally the greatest resource you fools have. And as he's kind of just laughing, suddenly there's like this grating noise to the west. Again, the grating. Rough rock scratching against rock. And ultimately, the door opens back up on the west side, or like there's this recessed hidden door within the wall that goes to the side. Stepping forward, you see this lich dressed in just rich, but very much just undone, terrible, tattered robes at this point. Why have you summoned me, Fox? As Nephron stands up. Oh, not me at all, Sir Lich, but this mortal fool who would like to have a parley with you. Treat him however you wish. He was eager to see you. So long. And he just disappears. Knack, you look upon a somewhat familiar sight to you. The cracked, leathery gray skin stretched taut atop the bones, skull. The flowing robes themselves seemingly barely touching the ground as this thing levitates towards you. Who are you?
I am a student of the arcane, one with interest in things such as delaying, defeating, or circumventing death.
You're a necromancer.
As such, yes.
What do you want from me, neophyte?
I have been told that you have the unfortunate case of not having many of your memories left.
Don't.
I came here to learn more. As one such as yourself with this impressive library, you at once sought knowledge for knowledge's sake, and I am currently in such a endeavor.
I don't know. Is this mine? Is this my library? As he kind of floats around, and it's almost like he's looking at these books for the first time. He floats over and actually picks one of the books up, and as you see him kick it open and kind of start flicking through. It's a joke. As he takes the book and kind of flings it towards you, you kind of catch it, and it's like one of those super expensive encyclopedia collections that you'll see with like this super rich leather bounding and like gold and stuff like that in there. As you catch that and you look in it, all the pages are utterly blank. The Lich picks up another one, flicks angrily through that. What have you done? Throws down another book, throws down another book, and it seems every single one he opens up has just blank pages in it.
Would you mind if I selected a book to look through?
Make it quick.
So I want to walk up to one of the ones here on this wall and see if there's anything that catches my eye, essentially.
Necromancy for orcs. The smart way. You go
Lynch
through...
101.
Yeah. There's one that's like the Necronomicon, the Demonomicon. You're like, that sounds boring. Something about Tasha's collected archives. You're like, whatever. And like, Something about Draco Liches. Sure, I'll look at that. And you kind of flick it open and blank pages.
Well, Sir Lich, it would seem that something has happened to your repository of knowledge.
And he's just angrily kind of floating from shelf to shelf, flicking books around, just like tossing them aside the second that he confirms that there's nothing in it. What have you done to my collection, Orc? And there's just anger, the little green points of light that are burning like little torches within the eye sockets of this thing.
Sir, I've been here for mere minutes. This is the first time I've actually interacted with any of your books, besides looking. This was not of my doing.
Make me a persuasion check, Knack. What's the total?
That's 6.
You suddenly see as arcane power starts to flicker around the arms and hands of this lich. The anger seems to rise and the power just starts to crackle within the room. Liars! Kind of flies up. Master P just looking up at the lich, looks back towards Yunak and is just like,
Yeah, this is going well.
as the energy kind of crackles more and more together. What do you say?
Sir, I think this may have to do with your loss of memory. I think someone has put a spell on you to reduce your knowledge as well as the library that you have acquired. This is not my doing. I come in search of knowledge, not the deletion of it. To delete knowledge is paramount to...
You see the energy kind of like dissipate. Whatever spell this lich was just starting to kind of incant forth releases into nothing. The figure sinks back to the floor. My mind. Where? What's up, Chris?
Nothing. I was being a smartass.
You need to go clean up the books. As he floats over towards the wall. What do you say?
Sir, I may be of some assistance as somewhat new and not of this place. I could help you. I endeavor to try with you to find that out. I think that, again, someone has likely cursed you. No, not me. Someone, an enemy perhaps, or perhaps someone that saw you as a liability. Does the name Strahd bring up anything? I'm going to ask you something very beyond personal, something that touches your soul as it is. Do you know where your phylactery is?
The thing just gives you a very hard, long, arcane, green light-filled socket look.
This isn't, I'm not asking for you to tell me. The question is, do you know where it is?
The eyes kind of look down upon the ground. Yes. Yes, I do. Why are you here?
I am in search of knowledge. The power over death.
I cannot help you. You're weary. If you seek knowledge, then search these books. Or speak to the Whispering Ones.
If I can help you with this seeming curse, would you be willing to help me?
Help you how.
Teaching me what you know.
Know nothing.
Because I believe that someone has cursed you to rid you of your knowledge, rid you of your mind, of yourself.
Make me one more persuasion check with advantage.
— 15.
Do you hold this power?
Do I hold what power?
You say there is a curse upon me. I cannot recall who I am. I know that I belong here. I know my phylactery to be safe. I don't know if you are someone who seeks to destroy me. You lift this supposed curse.
I believe I can, if I can find its source.
Then find it. If you lift the curse, I shall teach you.
Then I'm gonna. I've trusted you thus far not to end my life. I took this conversation, this parlay, on good faith, not knowing you. And you seem willing to trust me. Will you let me into your chambers to inspect the things in there?
Eyes just shoot up and stare you down.
Again,
No.
I'm not interested in anything that you have that's material. I am legitimately trying to help you. However, if the source is not in here, the only place that is important to you would be in your chambers. Correct?
You're trying to trick me, confuse me. Who are you? Who sent you? And Knack, make me an insight check.
9.
9. What you do get the sense of is it's almost as if this lich is exhibiting signs of dementia or advanced Alzheimer's or something like that, which is odd, for there's no body to deteriorate. And in fact, liches most of the time create themselves at their peak of their, mind. So, yeah. It's like, lift the curse. I need to be alone. As the stone door pushes back to the side, the lich levitates on through and closes the door behind himself.
I'll look over at Master P and be like, well, we didn't die. Where's that damnable fox? I know you can hear me.
As in one of the love chairs, he just kind of reappears. I thought you were going to die.
Yet here I stand.
That was pretty good. That was pretty eloquent.
They could have went better, but I agree. It's
Is that a
could have
pain
went
on
far
your left
worse.
leg? Just kidding. Made you look though.
So the books are empty?
Yeah.
So why would you come into the library if all the books were empty?
Just help me put them back. And you see the fox kind of picks them up and kind of waves his hand as some other ones, like half a dozen, kind of lift into the shelvings themselves.
How long have these books been blank?
Well, since I first came here.
Since the beginning. Okay. What do you think that these books are obviously not meant to be empty? These books were here with knowledge.
You
They
are
have been
like
hidden.
a mortal toddler with your unending questions. These books hold the reason I am here. They are magically protected against being read without the right passphrases.
Okay, so did you encode them, or were they encoded? You said they were already there, so they have been encoded since the beginning. I'm guessing it's probably the Lich that did it.
I am working towards a complete collection, yes.
Do you feel this? He acts like an old man, a crazy old man that's lost his mind.
Yes.
He has no physical being to be corrupted. His mind should be as strong as it was the day that he became a Lich.
Definitely.
So who cursed him?
He was here when I arrived, so I'm not sure on that one. There's no book that speaks of him, his existence here. I don't know why he is here. He doesn't wear the robes of some of the dead acolytes around the place, so I don't think he was here before. He's let's call him a tenant, much like yours truly.
The robes that he was wearing, were they Thalian?
No, they were not. I know that image kind of looked like it, but they weren't.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I was like, oh, that looks like okay. Traveler from abroad comes here, works under Strahd for some time, possibly while Strahd was living.
You think this Lich came with Strahd?
We know that the Lich worked for Strahd for a time, and that was before you even got here, that he was put back into this place. So that tells me that Strahd was becoming more and more, like you said, engrossed in dark powers. It is possible that he sought out other education into undeath, and he hired this Lich to work for him. And then when Strahd gained his powers from these embers, or ambers, I should say, these dark spirits within, possibly saw him as a liability.
But why not destroy him outright?
Never throw away a tool you could use later.
Yeah.
Make him inconsequential, powerless. Take away his strongest attribute, his mind.
Sentient weapon. Ooh, I like this. You're conniving.
I try not to smile.
Master P just goes.
He does. So the question is, well, what I want is I would like to release him from his sickness, as it were, his curse, whatever it is, because he has knowledge that I desire, knowledge that is not easily acquired. Only one such as himself give it away, and not willingly. However, I think that giving him his mind back will hopefully put me in his good graces.
I mean, sounds like a fool's errand if you ask me, but if you want to try it, go for it. But, another hypothesis. Your elvish friend already was a fool. Unleashed one of the dark powers. The things they can accomplish could be great indeed. Imagine if you wielded the power of Strahd, what you could do.
As tempting as that is, I more so abide by the rules. The thought that self-empowerment is the way to go. And being powered by someone else comes with a price much greater than that which I am willing to pay. Yes, I will pay a price for the power that I seek, but the powers that they give will be a price that I can't fathom.
Power hungry but not starving, is what you're trying to say.
Power hungry, not insane.
Good to know. If you're so willing to spy the powers, I only ask you that if you return, it be only you. I respect your pursuit. In fact, I may even be able to speed it along. But as you said, well, paraphrased. And there's just like this long, creepy grin along this Fox's man snout. Everything has a price.
What is your price?
There's so much potential surrounding you, mortal. I can taste the desire for power. I can feel the death following in your wake.
But I'm merely immortal. I
You are
have
convenient.
40 odd years in my life.
How about then? There may be knowledge contained within Ravenloft. There may be artifacts. I would like to have an assurance that I can pick over these first, solely as an absolute right to choose. Are you willing to make this trade? Knack, as the sole individual who's currently in this room. Master P looks kind of down, sad. Well, I mean, you don't really count as a... Really? You know, you kind of control him. You can just tell him to knock it off.
What would be the point of that? A first dibs on any one thing in the castle?
One thing in any knowledge I deem necessary.
Would you prevent this knowledge for anyone else gaining this knowledge? You want to have the sole proprietorship?
Ideally. And I have ways that we can erase the knowledge from your mind without destroying it.
Yeah, that would be great. If you could not destroy my mind, I'd appreciate that.
I'll be careful.
Yeah, I don't think you will, but what would Knack do?
WWGD.
By God.
In Knack we trust.
Yeah.
Speak
Well,
for your fucking self.
Jack's gonna be like, I will do everything in my power to let you have a once over. I'm not as strong as my companions, and they could easily overrule me through sheer strength of arms. But I would do everything in my power to let you have a look around, but you'll have to be very quick and decisive.
As he kind of shakes his hand, and suddenly there's a long scroll that kind of appears. You see all of this writing with just like fire red magic just appear upon it.
How did Jeremy's character die at the end of the campaign? Well, he had to deal with another character, and the party fucking killed him at the end.
As the fox kind of, here you go.
All right, I'm gonna read through this very carefully.
Absolutely a language you do not understand.
Sweet. Yeah, I don't know what this says, so how could
Oh,
I
it's just the
possibly say?
terms that we just agreed on.
Uh-huh. Well, write it in a language I can understand, common or orc.
He kind of flicks a hand, and you suddenly see the writing still remains upon the scroll, but suddenly kind of lifts up and shakes around, and you see blue like glyphs appear that rearrange themselves to look like common.
Now I will read it.
And as you read over it, this is an infernal contract binding you to the terms that you are going to do everything in your power to enable this one known as Nephron to acquire any knowledge and prevent others from having that, and to choose one item procured as to your knowledge from Castle Ravenloft. To ensure this, you will carry an item which will enable Nephron to occasionally check in with you. Failure to do so will forever condemn your soul to the use of Nephron, however he sees fit.
So he's a devil.
It's an infernal.
You know when he said you should have been a lawyer? This is what he meant.
You know what? We're gonna let the dice decide it.
Ooh.
Indeed. Let's do
A
it.
man after my own heart.
Hells yeah.
We'll do do a D20 DC. Let's just go. You know what? Heads or tails? That's what we'll do.
What is what?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Yeah, like
I'm
rolling
still
like,
typing.
oh.
I'm still typing. No, I'm still typing. Heads, I sign the contract. Tails, I don't.
On his heads.
1.
As you go, well, and suddenly this beautiful quill kind of appears. And as you write onto it, it's the Harry Potter gimmick, as suddenly you feel that there's just kind of like this weird itching, scratching, and then you look as your forearm is just starting to bleed as you write your own name and a signature at the bottom lines. You see that scab, or like the wound kind of scab over and immediately heal. As he goes, thank you. Flicks his hand, and as it does, the scroll just rolls up and disappears. I think I'm going to enjoy you. Oh, and before I forget, he kind of reaches into like some of the pockets on his robes, flies over towards you, and hands you this golden and platinum just wristband.
Well, good thing I have sleeves, because nobody's not going to notice this ornate thing. Do you have anything less ornate? Dear God.
Sorry, I've given that away in past ages and never got it back, so...
Sweet. All right. Do I have to wear it, or can I just put it in my pocket?
You have to wear it.
Of course I do. All right. Well, here we go. Put it on.
Put it on. It's kind of like that feeling when you first get married, and kind of like the ring kind of feels weird on your finger, right? Or like whenever you're wearing some kind of like jewelry or something like that. It's just weird that you suddenly have like some kind of a space in between your fingers. It kind of feels just a little heavy, just a little heavy and burdensome on your wrist there. It'll just like dragging you down a little bit. As Nephron goes, "Wait here, Master Knack." As there's another knock on the door, and this time he steps through as he closes the door. You hear the muffled noises of the Lich certainly reacting in surprise. And then there seems to be some kind of magical incantation. And then some more quiet voices talking for a moment. As the door opens back up. And the Lich steps through once more. What do you seek, Knack?
I seek the knowledge on how you became you.
The knowledge to create a phylactery, then.
Yeah. I also have some ideas that possibly we could work together on.
The Arcanoloth informed me that you are to thank upon your infernal soul for my return of memories. Is that correct?
Yep.
The creation of a phylactery. And he almost like turns into this professorial stance as he starts to kind of pace back and forth. And actually more like floats back and forth there. Is we're going to go away from Knack having a little bit of an arcane, very complex discussion of what to do here. Knack, I will tell you though, you will be able to turn yourself into a true Lich by the time that you can finally cast a 9th level spell, which is going to be one of the requirements for it. Alright.
Hell yeah. If I live that long.
Simultaneously, Hoyt, you walk to the room with everyone else as Nephron kind of appears behind you. Now, mind you, this is happening simultaneously. Right? So as you're walking with Percy, Rolak, Hoyt, and Rel, Nephron kind of appears next to you and goes, "All right, now let's talk about the room. Please, this way. I think. Did you see the room with stupid? What is it? The arrangement of the castle. I was thinking we could throw all of that out and really redecorate that place. Something nice."
Why not?
Very well. As he kicks open the door, throws the table to the side, crashing the castle. "So what do you think?" He kind of steps around.
Big's the room? How big's the room?
You know. It
Okay.
is 10, 20, 30. It's about 20 by 30.
20 by 30. Do you want a bed or do you like sleeping on the floor?
Oh, a bed would be extremely nice. And you can just kind of go through what you're going to make the room look like eventually, but we don't have to do this line by line.
Okay. I know what I want the room to look like. but-
Go for it. Tell us.
All right, so, take the table and make a headboard out of it, and take a pot and melt down some of the silver that was in the other room, and kind of make lightning across the headboard, since he shocked us with lightning. Carve the wood and make it look like 2 fireballs up the post. Then
Seems to be a little on the nose, but I see where your vision is going as you're drawing this out on the parchment.
give him a little like side table that he can eat, and a little bookshelf that he can put some books on if he wants. Maybe another little like corner piece that he can put his little knickknacks on that he gets from people.
Put my knacks on there.
Oh,
He didn't
my
say that.
God. By God. Probably get a chest made for him to put stuff in it that he can arcane lock or whatever he wants to do.
Right.
and some kind of animal rug across the floor. Well, no,
Perfect.
not an animal rug across the floor because he is an animal. That would,
Make sure it's a fox rug.
yeah, fox rug.
Be a big ass fox.
Big ass.
It's what you don't know is it's 12 foxes that he's executed that he's
Okay.
now stapled together.
You don't know how many.
That does make sense.
I don't know, and like some of the arcane glyphs that I've run across, like design them on the floor or whatever, or on the wall, however he wants it.
Roger that. All right. Rolak, Rel, and Percy, you guys are now in the barbarian room kind of by yourself as everyone has kind of gone there for a second. Anything you guys want to discuss? Out of earshot of the others.
No, Percy's just going to be reading the book, the storybook, going over his cliff notes because he doesn't remember any of this part from the mom's story. Feel like that asshole left some details out.
Calling your mama asshole.
I mean, she did send you to a plane in which you cannot return from.
Mama says she wants you dead. D-E-A-D, dead.
Dagmar's with us?
No, not right this second. So this would be out of
Oh.
her earshot too, potentially. You can wait for her to come. She'll be the first one back.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
You can talk shit. I don't.
No, I don't care. I was just gonna say, like, I think our compatriot may end up being a problem if he ends up releasing something that is almost certainly going to possess him. Or
Well,
turn him into some monster.
they always do deals with side effects now, so we'll have
Yeah.
to see exactly what that is.
Yep. I wouldn't be surprised if a similar thing happens with Knack as well.
I'll be surprised if he comes back alive, to be honest.
If he doesn't, we'll go in after him.
Or undead, we should say.
Yeah. Good point.
I think, I almost think it would have been better if we just went in there guns a-blazing.
Would have been my vote, but
I think talking just put us in a much trickier situation.
well, I just feel like talking has taken the choice out of our hands because now that elf is doing God knows what with, those dark powers, which for all we know is making a second Strahd, and we don't know what's going on with Knack or this evil entity or what's going down there, as to where if we had just cut a line through them, we would have either been victorious or it would have died, and then it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, next time.
Next time we're in a temple with a lich and all. No offense, man, but when this is all said and done, I'm going to be as far away from this kind of shit as humanly possible if I survive.
Oh, that's funny. You think you can live this life? It has a way of pulling you back in.
Yeah. That does seem apparent.
Right, Percy?
Ha! Well, I've made it through some pretty dangerous shit, so you never know.
Stay with us for about another 5 minutes. It'll get worse.
All right, in about another 5 minutes, you have Dagmar return with
Speaking of it,
Casimir.
another 5 minutes.
She's kind of holding up with his shoulder slung over her Casimir, who is looking rough.
What happened to him?
He made his wish.
You can also just ask me.
I wasn't sure you were alive.
Well, if you want to explain everything, by all means.
Yep. What did you do?
It's what I came here to do.
You're gonna have to
Bargained.
answer.
Kinda
You
looks
made
at
a
him.
deal with the devil.
No, there's no devil involved. There's no infernal contract or anything.
Who would sign an Imperial contract?
What kind of idiot
That's
would do that?
that is too far. We can't. That's who would do that? But no, he says, yes, I did. So that good can come out of it.
Yeah, because their deals always have so much good coming out of it.
I don't care what happens to me. Put me down after I'm done with my task. If that's what you desire. You seem to be thirsty for blood.
Yeah, you got
Anyways.
me misjudged, friend. I'm more worried about he's gonna do the good thing you ask, and then they're gonna use you to harm those that they just raised.
Then you have my permission to put me down, cleanse the darkness, and undo what I did. I've tried for a long time. And now, I believe I have the power to bring those who died back to life. Truly.
Really, no reaction from you? I mean, I know we've seen some crazy shit, but
As I said, bloodthirsty.
I just don't know if I trust any of it. No, I don't think you've got him pegged either. I just
Yeah, bloodthirsty. Maybe it's not the fact that I just keep having one person after another that's saying, let's cleanse this place and right my wrong.
And the
How
elf
about
just
people
leaves.
just may stop making bad decisions?
You yell after him as he just walks out.
you need to sit down and rest, at least.
Let him
You're not gonna
go.
survive.
I'm sure he won't release some other giant amber golem that wants to smash us into oblivion.
Sweet gods.
You hear.
Yeah.
Nope.
Cute.
Anybody else hear a sad trombone?
Yeah. Womp womp. Do you trust this thing? Do you trust him, Dagmar? Do you think this is going to turn into a cluster?
Oh, I think something terrible's gonna happen.
Great! I'm so happy we're on the same page.
But when you're as desperate as him, and really all of my people for that matter, what else do we have to lose? What?
Okay.
They'll raise the dead? Then we'll have an undead army of countless women? That sounds like Barovia. That sounds like a Tuesday.
Fair. So then,
On
how
a
about
Tuesday.
why don't we just double down? Why don't we go open up another one of those, and you make a deal with one of them, and I'll make a deal with one of them, and then we'll just go We'll just go start ripping ass through the land, killing everything until Strahd's gone.
So I thought we had a better plan and we weren't that desperate.
I mean,
That's what you thought.
yeah. That's like you said. Let's see how things are in the morning.
You know, that could be an interesting idea. I could think of a deal I could make.
Oh boy. We're just gonna keep making deals.
I wonder.
That was sarcasm, friend. I was being sarcastic. Dagmar understood that.
I wonder if they can get my powers under control.
I thought you had control over your powers for the most part. I think you could, though.
Well, you know, I have to sacrifice a bit of myself to use them.
Yeah.
I wonder.
He said,
I mean, I don't know if I would necessarily warrant that as worthy of making that kind of deal personally, but
Looked like it really hurt whatever he accepted. Did you see his eyes?
I mean, we're talking about making a pact with a dark entity. So, I mean, just a thought, but I wouldn't do that for like a new belt. He tried to resurrect like thousands or hundreds to thousands of dead people he wished to bring back to life. So you just wanting a little more control of your spells, I would, if you're gonna make a deal, I would aim a little higher.
Well, it's not just control of my spells. This could potentially burn me out if I keep using them. Like I said, it uses a piece of my magic, my inborn magic. I don't know if that's infinite or if eventually it runs me dry and I'm gone.
Oh, so you're talking about you want him to make you immortal.
Not quite immortal, but just whole like the rest of my clan.
Jinx.
Rather shallow and pedantic.
Yes, shallow and pedantic.
So how long are we gonna leave Knack in there before we go looking for him?
Do we even have a choice? I mean, we pretty much agreed to not set foot.
I guess we wait till first light. If he's not back by first light, then we go looking.
Guess so. We're gonna have to be at our best.
Hoyt, you finish up first after quite some amazing interior design work that you do, remodeling the place, making it look real good. Nephron is just head over heels, absolutely just taken by how amazing it is.
I
Nephron,
can't
you
wait to
wouldn't,
watch this stuff.
Nephron, you wouldn't happen to have a bite to eat, would you?
Eating is gross.
You're gross, bitch. Just kidding.
I was about to
Did
say,
you hear,
wow,
hear Percy from the freaking balcony?
from downtown.
Does this suit you?
Not bad. Thanks, Dwarf. As you guys are having this conversation, and the rest of you guys have kind of like started setting up, you do see as Rel gets up and heads towards the door.
Shit.
Rail does?
Casimir has returned from his temper tantrum and kind of looks at him. And Rel, do you say anything as you guys make eye contact?
I'll ask him, any tips?
Be ready for judgment. He just points his chin towards Rolak.
Well, I've had since I met them.
Then you know what it means to have to live in Barovia.
You know, sometimes you have to look past the judgment and look at the judge. Most of the times, it doesn't stack up.
As Casimir looks towards Rolak. Keep that in mind.
He's
And
been wanting to replace Strahd since I've met him. I'm not sure that makes him any better than the rest of us.
see. Well, he's welcome to try, I suppose. I want my people out. All of them. Especially the ones that I caused to suffer. If you can think of a way to make your power selfless, maybe that's not a good enough thing, but maybe at least it will give more meaning to the darkness that you take on.
I'll keep that in mind.
And Threll, can we make a promise to each other that either of us loses their way? And he just nods. You know.
I understand. I put my hand out.
And he puts up his, and you guys do the strongman grab, agreeing to it very, very firmly.
The brush shake.
The Fantasyland, everybody shakes their hands like this for some reason. Shake. good luck.
You too.
Right? Rel, your footsteps kind of echo through the hall here as you descend down back towards the foot of the statue. You still kind of see some of the smoke coming lazily out of the front of the darkened area as you make your way past the treasure room and into the back. You look to the right and you see the eastern amber block lies there cracked and dull. You see the other two are still there, the one to the west and the one to the south. As there seems to be almost kind of like this tantalizing sensation of attraction towards the western amber block.
I walk towards the western amber block.
As you step closer, the dark swirl inside of it actually completely vanishes. And there seems to be kind of just this golden reddish light that is just shining. Like a amorphous sphere of ephemeral golden light. And as you look closer, you suddenly see what seems to be a soaring, mid-flight, ancient red dragon.
Yeah, he's on his phone.
I just think it's funny that of everybody in this party, the one that everybody talks shit about is the only person that's like, is the one that's not making any dark deals. Like, fucking Christ.
So I'll just keep staring at it until I have to open it, right? I have to.
You look at it, and as you kind of like scintillatingly watch the dragon kind of fly, suddenly it seems to kind of stop and land upon a massive rocky formation. As its huge golden eyes meet yours, you see everything seems to kind of just focus in on the eye. The iris itself becomes very, very narrow and focuses in into your own sight. And without words being exchanged, you know you must ask for the hoard that you desire.
I guess while I'm looking at him in his eye, I say, I wish to be made whole, like the rest of my clan, to be able to draw my power without having to sacrifice some of my own life, of course.
You see the eye just kind of go wide as the dragon seems to be coming fully into view again within this amber, weird scrying block at this point. And the dragon just kind of nods.
What is the price to pay?
And the dragon just, you see a smile kind of curl up. But a normal smile should only go so far. It seems like this dragon seems to curl even higher. You see rows and rows of teeth just appear. You can see that some of the scales seem to just kind of almost get changed in color from this brilliant red to just a duller kind of maroon. The tips of them seem to kind of appear like blackish.
Okay, I'll pay it.
All right. As you break the amber, how do you do that?
I'll put my hands on it and I'll just start heating it up until either it explodes or melts.
And you can feel your hand kind of start to sink in further and further as the amber just melts down in rivulets down the path off of the block itself. As suddenly you kind of seem to push through something, and you feel the darkness just immediately push back against that. Up your arm it goes, and directly into your mouth. As the darkness just pushes into your body, you also feel the same sensation. It's like if you've ever had like bad smoke or smog and just kind of like inhaled that, and like how there was this burning sensation within your lungs, it feels like that, but 5 times worse. It feels like you're drowning while at the same time your lungs themselves are filled with tar. As you're just being lifted up into it, you feel more and more push into your body. And as you look down upon yourself, you see your scales slowly turn from a brilliant red to a deep maroon, and finally to a shining black, as you drop to your knees as well. We switch back to the other group. Hoyt has returned at this point, had a nice conversation with Nephron. You guys kind of exchanged, favorite palettes and the like. And at this point, as you guys are sitting in the room and Rolak is kind of filling you, Hoyt, in about the situation with Rel and telling you about the elf having taken on the black, you see Knack stride into the room with the most satisfied smile you have ever seen on his face. However, right beside him, you see the floating figure of a hairless, clean-shaven undead head as the Lich hovers into the room as well. The Lich looks over towards Rolak and then looks to you, Knack. Is he the one?
Uh-oh.
Huh?
Huh?
Jeremy, you heard me. He just says,
Did I
pointing,
stutter?
pointing towards Rolak.
So I've
"Is
been
he
like
the one?"
sitting down, just kind of stewing. So at this point, I'm definitely gonna stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, he's my brother. I don't know if he's the one.
What did you
He
do?
is the one who is possessed by his spirit, yes.
Oh, yeah.
As he
Well, then that's not
flicks
bad.
his hand, suddenly, Rolak, you kind of feel a tug on your chest as pushed out or pulled out of your body. You feel the ghost. The ghost kind of seems to flow towards the outstretched hand of the Lich, who kind of grasps the spirit by the throat, looks at him, and just flicks him back behind him. And suddenly, the soul just seems to disappear.
Making friends, huh?
Hey, everybody.
Hoyt sitting down's gonna slide back a little bit.
The Lich looks towards you, Nick. Remember our lesson. Thank you for returning my mind. Good luck. And slowly just floats away from you. God, I
not real scared.
love that I was able to trick Drake into believing that Jeremy had somehow arranged something real fucked up for Rolek.
I was like, if we gonna go here, if we gonna go off this board, we're gonna
Drake's
go all
reaction. What was the
way
best
off
thing?
this
Like
board.
what was it?
Yeah.
Yep, that glitched out.
Oh, that was priceless. Oh, that
Hey,
was the
that's
best
my
part.
only way of like keeping my mouth shut and not like interrupting y'all.
That's like
The best is like the look and then the click.
The fuck?
Excuse me.
A couple minutes later, Rel walks in. But not the Rel that you remember, but a dark, scaled iteration of him.
New paint job. Nice.
something like that.
Did you get what you wanted?
I did.
And what did it cost you?
You're looking at it.
Everything. It caused you to just change your coloring? I strongly doubt that.
Well,
You're telling me I can grow powerful and just get a tan? I think we'll all sign up for it.
that's one way to look at it.
Turn back over it. And you, peacock boy, what are you strutting for? As I'm looking at Knack.
I'm just having a good day, I guess. I don't know. I'm just, things taking a turn for the better. Made a new friend. Nothing really out of the ordinary.
This play's been working out, huh, Knack?
Yeah. I really like it.
Yeah, it's a neat place.
I mean,
I
it
agree.
grows on you.
I'm gonna
Takes a
walk
little
up
bit
and
to
get
grow.
like awkwardly close to Knack and be like, "The fuck is going on? You went from your normal self to chipper and borderline skipping as you walked in here. If he taught you something, just share. We don't care. If that's what this is about. If it's about something else,
We exchanged gifts of sorts. And then as I say it like that, like my sleeve drops down. You see this very ornate bracelet on.
Uh,
I'm gonna be like, "Oh my god, oh my god."
Are you going steady?
We have another moron in the group that's made it. I'm gonna look over at Dagmar, Hoyt, and Percy and be like, "Any deals you guys made? I mean, anybody
I
else?"
did forget to mention something.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Who'd you make a deal with?
My mother.
Great.
Oh.
Great. Dagmar, you got any deals out there?
I mean, no, but at this point, like,
You should
do
get
we
one.
have anything to even like?
you feeling-
did
are you
we,
feeling
did
left
we
out?
accomplish? No, stop it. This answer for me. Thank you. Directed towards them, not towards me.
Touche. Touche.
Did we even get what we wanted here? Like, why we came here to get knowledge on how to beat Strahd, and the fox guy literally just said, yeah, that could work.
That was why we came here. That's not why Peacock Boy came here.
I know.
I'm gonna be willing to bet. I'm gonna be willing to bet money that you just sold your soul for something stupid. For a spell, or you know what? I bet it was a book. Was it a book?
Knack
I do
tries to
not
find,
have.
like a little log or something like that. I don't know. No.
I do not have a different book on me than I had when I came in.
Okay, so you traded gifts. What gift did you receive? We'll start there. Okay, a bracelet.
Yeah, it's pretty, right?
What does the
Looks like-
bracelet do?
Let me just wear it.
Knack?
It's a bracelet.
Okay, so you traded something for this bracelet.
We were just kind of talking back and forth. As you saw, we formed a friendship. He was actually literally insane. And I helped him regain his sanity.
So the Lich gave you the bracelet?
I got the bracelet.
Yeah, okay, so the Lich didn't give you the bracelet. So the Fox gave you the bracelet. What did you... So you're clearly lying to us about what the bracelet is, but we'll pass that.
I haven't lied about anything.
Okay, you're not answering the questions, which is just a giant
That's
waste
true.
of time.
Yeah, that's true.
Sweet Lathander.
What did you promise him? That's equally important. Just you're going to end up telling us, so just tell us so we can deal
I
with
think
it.
it would be better as like a really big surprise if I just like have to just like dump some like really crazy stuff on you guys at like a really inopportune time.
Hoyt, would you rather know now or be surprised later?
I'm thinking about going make a deal.
You
know what?
should. You should.
Fuck it. I'm going to go make a deal because that's apparently what we're doing here today.
Let's
Like,
make a deal.
Gods, I'm sorry, how old are you? Well, I know I'm the eldest here. Not
How old are you?
How old are you guys?
I'm just asking questions.
I'm 17.
You're 17?
Yeah.
Dragonborn grow really fast. I'm actually only 9 years old.
Got that Benjamin Buttons disease.
Yeah, like half orcs die at like 35. So like I'm
Wow.
yeah. So yeah, I don't really like. I gotta like get
Humans
things
died.
done. I don't like have like a whole lot of time just kind of meander
Right,
around.
get things done. Right, so what did you do?
I just kind of.
Oh no, I mean it was important, right? To get
Put
things
some
done.
bass in your voice. Come on, boy. What did you do?
All right. So
You made
guys
the
know
deal.
about.
We didn't make a deal, so we don't have to honor it.
I'm trying to tell you. You know what? Let's talk about this outside. Well, you know what? It doesn't actually matter. Yeah, so the bracelet allows Foxman to basically check in on me.
Oh, great.
Creepy.
Right? So we're on friendly terms.
Pretty decadent too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I asked him for something a little more mundane. Apparently, didn't have anything, so whatever. At least in a necklace, I guess. I don't know. Anyway,
Could have been a little ring with like a little heart at the point. Yeah.
oh, mood ring.
No. Promise ring, like one of those old.
Watch out
old
for the
iron
Oh
rods.
God. May or may not have learned how to become a lich.
I'm sorry. I think I heard something.
Did you
grab me the rosary. What did you say?
Did you say you're a bitch?
I
Yeah,
learned
he
how
He is. That's
to act
accurate,
like
Will.
one.
That's 100% accurate.
Yeah, y'all make fucking.
But he
jokes and
said
shit.
he's going to turn into a lich, an undead,
Lich!
undying creature. Yes.
I learned how to make a phylactery. Okay, that's it. Not
yeah.
not a big deal. It's
Because we haven't seen
secretly
you act
guarded,
like a little child every time you're around a book. I'm sure you won't want to do something with that.
knowledge for knowledge's sake.
What is your phylactery, olfactory? What's it do?
It would house my soul to protect it.
FYI, Hoyt, just so you know, when we were on the road, this is literally the only thing he talked about for months on end, so I'm sure he has no obsession about getting it done and created at all. Not at all.
Okay.
Did I remind you that my maximum lifespan is like 35 years naturally?
I'm just going to go back to filing my medals. That's something I'm good at. So,
You know, I do have a question. I know I'm new to the group, but he said you're his brother, but you're a half-orc. He's not a half-orc.
That is correct.
Our dad played the field.
did the devil thing teach you math?
Math? What's that?
I mean, you should have known that don't add up. But between those two, one's a half orc, one's not. I mean,
Well, there's multiple ways that could have gone.
They could be adopted or brothers
Right.
in spirit. I mean, thank you for asking. I wanted to for a while, but
Yeah.
it felt awkward.
I appreciate that.
they're brothers from different mothers.
Well,
Eh.
no, see, they could have been the same mother, different fathers. You don't know. There's different ways that works out.
Nah, my mom
Back-
was a stable
Back
hand.
to the
so.
subject at hand. What did you promise the fox?
Oh yeah.
So I learned an interesting thing about our fox friend.
Oh, see, this is called misdirection, boys. and
No.
girls.
This all has context. This just gives context. Okay.
Okay.
He is big on the seeking of knowledge, which, man after my own heart, right? He's not really a man, though. He's I don't think he's a devil, but I know he writes an infernal.
And how would you know that?
Just like any deal, it's good to have a contract.
You signed an infernal contract with a fox man so that you could become a lich. The thing you want most in this world. Once again, for the 35th time, what did you give him in return?
We're building up to crescendos.
I really gotta use the restroom.
I promised him I would do everything in my power. Let's give you the deets. I promised him to do everything within my power to allow him to have first pickings over Castle Ravenloft's items. Just one item, and knowledge.
Knowledge is pretty vague.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. He
So
basically, so like if we learn how to
If we
create a
learn-
dread domain,
If we learn spells, if we learn information, all of anything that is learned there is his.
they're not everything, but he has first pickings over something.
If he wants it, it's his.
Yeah,
So one individual thing, not everything.
correct.
Well, one physical thing, but all knowledge is his, correct?
It wasn't all knowledge. It was.
You don't even remember, do you?
I just
Take out
told
the
you.
contract. Let's read it. Come on. That's why you got a contract, right?
You got
Yeah.
a
You
copy,
could ask
didn't
for a
you?
copy.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't have a copy of
He's
your
a very
contract?
trustworthy guy. Listen,
Oh.
contracts in
Oh my
Infernal are
goodness.
not like you can't just like edit those. Those are like
Okay.
it's like gravity.
But there's
essentially.
fine print. Did you read the fine print?
I read all of it.
Can we rewind back probably a couple weeks? Was the Lich supposed to know the location of Strahd's burial? Of his actual...
We came here for
Oh.
nothing.
Well, shit.
There's a
I
lot
think
that
we-
Knack and the Lich chatted about that Jeremy and I will chat about.
Okay. It is midnight.
That me and you will also chat about.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, we are experiencing technical difficulties.
Sorry. See, this is what happened. Tonight Rel died, and Sorry was born. Eros, that's gonna have to be the next name of your next character. What the fox? All right, y'all.
That's funny.
With that, as you guys bed down for the evening and try to take a long rest at the barbarian room of the Amber Motel, you guys are going to wrap this chapter up, I suppose, with some dark deals made and a new compatriot of sorts coming along the way, who apparently has the power over life and death. Something that sounds familiar? And another one who has the power over death. It's a lot of death in this group today. With that, we're going to be rating someone here in just a second, so if you guys want to stay on. As a call out again, we're going to do another giveaway. This one is going to be a Fizz Bands, so if you guys want to be entered one way or another, it's going to be a follow, subscribe, or what are they called? The cheers. Each one are different worth thingies, majiggies, so if you guys would like to enter some... yeah, I know, that was very eloquent in its brevity, right, right, Jeremy? But yeah, if you guys want to, do anything like that, go for it. I'm going to check out some of the channels that might be available. And thank you guys for joining in. Oh, this does not look good.
Good times had by all.
Yeah, oh Jesus, the ramifications.
Nothing